feeling some
Choke
energy
on
around
the
here
dick
in this
while
room.
you're sucking it, Branch.
I'd kill him. I'd give him a heart attack. Jeez. Don't want to do that to anybody.
You didn't say you want to fuck him though.
Yeah.
Branch knows how to set the tone, right?
Hey, Sort, maybe you should go shut the fuck up.
So here's your
Please.
gas pressure. Next to vacuum. Very, very silly idea. All that
Where
gas next to all that vacuum.
Where does it say that?
It doesn't exist, Kimo. We don't have it. You're lying.
We can see it.
I do see
That's a very
like
different.
that
That's
Kimo's
different.
quote has an imaginary boundary in there, as it's not like a literal boundary that he's making it out to be.
Yeah, but where there's blue, that's where the atmosphere is. And where there's no atmosphere, it's not blue.
And does that line look kind of faded to you? Is it very, very definitive?
Very,
It's
very.
It's very, very definitive. So there's no blue, and then there's black.
Yeah, then I would like you to go to Specsavers.
Where?
Specsavers. Get your eyes checked out.
About what's the
he has-
distance of that line? What's the size of that line? Because I guess you're right. It does kind of look fine in that picture, but about what height? Like, what's the distance?
62
about?
miles up. Roughly.
So it's the
100
62-mile line.
Oh, no,
That's
no,
how
no,
thick
no,
it
no.
is?
The line, I don't know how long the line is, no. But its high is around 100 kilometers above this.
But what does he have to say about it? The guy who was talking about Specsavers.
Why are you so mean to Emma Curved?
He was being sweet, man.
Literally no need. I mean,
That just have you not heard the phrase that the more a boy picks on you at school, the more he likes you?
yes.
There you go.
Ah. Well, yes, you are very pretty, so I can see you're going to draw lots of attention. And with a lot of the single men around, they're going to probably want to.
How many
to know
boys
you a bit
picked
better.
on you at school?
Are you fucking jealous?
Kimo.
Oh, I mean,
His name's
So,
Kimo Branch, and
Kimo.
Waz is the guy who was
I
talking.
know.
Waz was just talking.
I knew exactly, but I just put my hand on my face. I was like, I fucked up.
Yeah.
No
So-
worries.
You're
What
getting
are
that
you on
Branch.
about, Branch?
Are we talking about Emma's beauty or
Oh,
the Carmen line?
Kimo, why are you so jealous, bro?
Are
Why
you
you
talking
so
about Emma's
jealous?
booty?
Emma's beauty or the Carmen line? What's the topic?
Oh, okay.
Let's go for the Carmen line, please.
Okay.
Right, but, Curved, you better watch out because Rizla's about to get your fucking ass. He will fuck you up, bro.
Here we go. Look, Jin's just put another picture in the chat there. Well done, Jin. You see, everyone knows.
That's a
about
really
that.
thick line, though, the one that Jin posted.
Yeah, everyone knows about this code. Now, if you were to send something of low pressure to
Jim
that
doesn't
area,
understand.
what do you suppose would happen? You
Sorry,
have
say
to
it.
answer that. No, you don't have to answer that. No, you have
Got
to
it.
answer. No, you
Like,
don't have to
when
answer
I asked if you would fuck
Branch.
Curved, you didn't answer, which was a yes.
Branch, you
What about
gotta,
Rizla?
you gotta fucking. Nobody else wants to do this for you, man. So you gotta mod yourself a little bit.
All right. Well, I think that we need to have maybe a battle, you know, between Rizla and Curved.
I'm afraid to laugh at you, dude, because I feel like it's just gonna encourage you to continue. So
Wouldn't that be the most funnest thing to see ever in the world?
no.
Rizla versus
You guys need a girlfriend. Come on, let's get back to the science now.
You both need to have the same
No.
girlfriend.
Oh, you need
Bro,
a girlfriend.
no, dude, I have enough girls. This is my fun time outside of real life.
Yeah, let's just try to stay on track, Branch, at least to some extent.
Yeah, okay, my bad.
Also, sometimes you make a joke and you gotta realize, okay, that joke, people laughed at it, but don't come back to that same joke, man. You gotta not do that because that's when it gets like, oh damn it, that's when it's not funny anymore. So
Got it.
So, Kosher, what do you think about, like we know that the astronauts are all acting. So, I mean, as a human race, mankind, what should we do? What would you do about it if you understood that they're all actors and space is fake? What would your line of duty be?
In this course, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to get started programming in Python. Now, Python.
What was that?
In this course,
Big Branch is learning how to code.
So,
Kosher, what direction would you take if you understood that space is absolutely fake, it's not possible, and all the astronauts, they're just acting?
I'm going to answer that by describing. I said this to Scott yesterday. You like The Matrix. I like The Matrix. One of my favorite movies. Could you imagine if the plot of The Matrix was exactly the way it was, except for like Morpheus gives him the red pill, blue pill. He's like teaching him about the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
He's telling him about it all the time. The only difference between this and what I'm describing in The Matrix is he takes the pill, all this other stuff. He tells him these stories about the agents and the robots, but Neo never sees it. And they're just, they're wearing this like spandex, these trench coats, but they're just kind of thinking this is real, that they live in some computer world, but turns out they just were wrong about it.
You really bought into the movies, right, Kosher? I mean, it's just a movie.
When you ask me a question about the astronauts being actors,
I'm going to put the picture, Kimo.
Branch, stop. Whenever you ask me a question about Branch, you gotta fucking stop.
I did ask you a question. I'm asking you direction, Kosher. If you knew...
I know, I'm answering your question, but it just got obstructed, okay? So when you ask me a question about the astronauts being actors, this is what I think in my head is, if this were The Matrix, as you say, and these guys were actually actors and not just regular astronauts, then I would have to think that's something bad and something wrong, and I'd have to have some answer for that. But since in my reality they're not actors and they are just astronauts, it's difficult for me to answer that question and to be angry about something that's not happening. You know what I mean?
If you were writing a movie and you realized that they were lying to you, which way would your script go for the heroes? For Neo?
If I was writing this movie, the world would really be flat and they would really be actors.
Would you execute all the liars?
No, I'm not Arwen, but I would.
But you'd put them in jail.
I'd probably just tell people about them.
Yeah, dude. There's this one girl in this other room, and it's just like, she just wants a Muslim guy. Like, fuck, she's still hot though.
Sure. So, I think that's probably one of the biggest problems, Kosh, is why, the ballers are getting frustrated with the flat earthers. Because like Rizla said earlier on, it's pretty much you guys have to explain your reality, what you think it is. I mean, if you're asking us about our reality, we just say, look outside. Just go and look at the ocean. You see the horizon's flat, level, horizontal. That's all we have to do. We don't have to give you any calculations, any wild measurements, no random guesses or assumptions. None of that. Just look outside. For you, you have to say, wow, you need to get a stick, you need to go here, you need to get a friend, you need to look at the moon's distance, the sun's distance, and all this nonsense. Like, yeah, okay.
I like that picture.
It's not all about all of that though, right, Kosho, is it?
I was listening. But you have to elaborate.
I mean, I'm sure. How do I keep calling fucking Kimo Kosho?
Fucking asshole.
Kosho Kimo.
A lot of people do it, man. Do people ever call you Kosho, Kimo?
Yeah, sometimes they'll probably go to say Kosho, but they mean.
Yeah,
Kimo. I think what we're talking about is this, Kimo. Look, I think we wanted to have a very calm conversation today, and it developed into a very argumentative conversation.
Because look, you can't stay in your delusion that we're the problem, but in fact, you're the one with the claim. So it's like flat Earth for this, flat Earth for that, flat Earth is flat Earth is flat Earth.
Why are you changing the way you talk just based on how I presented the question?
Changing the way that I talk, I'm saying direct.
Or the calmer I talk, the calmer you talk.
Yeah, I mean, this is there's nothing to be wild about. It's not that big of a deal, really. Apart from the fact we've been lied to our entire lives.
Regardless.
Trying to sound like Love Lemonade.
Oh. I'm just being branch. I'm trying to do something funny. Now, Kimo, how can we actually put today's conversation to civil and hospitable end? If you can't, bitch, fuck off. If you can, you better fucking do that shit slow. Like I said. Give me blood.
What's going on?
It's almost like that's what is needed, Branch. Because it's almost like the ballers are like big babies. And
No, I actually think that, like, what I tried to do today, right? It didn't work. We agreed it didn't work. But I think that if we just did that more often, I actually think that, you know, those will make so much better videos for you. Nobody else is making videos on this shit except you, right?
on the flat Earth. I think there are some still people.
Well, I think that you got free reign. And personally, I think that you should do it. Like, let's just fucking, like, you gotta have a side of it, like civil talk. So today, this fly, yeah. You know, that type of shit, bro. It's gonna be funny. I'm saying the comedic value to the point.
Going.
But I'm on my last cigarette, bro. I ain't going nowhere now.
You want to talk about flat earthers, not too flat earth.
Me? You're talking to the wrong person, bro. Like, I'm Branch. I never talk about flat earth stuff.
What do you talk about then, Branch?
Yeah. Bullshit.
I can respect that.
Wait, are we asking discussion because actual room went silent?
We're listening to you, Branch.
Oh,
You want
okay,
it calm? We've got calm.
Right, well, Kimo.
Be careful what you wish for.
Oh, Kimo, let me ask you a question, dude. Like, what was it that made you become a flat earther, Kimo?
Want to go over that again? Well, actually, it was all those years ago when I was looking.
Yeah,
And,
can you do it?
in
No,
that
can you do it
channel, There was a flat earther video.
Calm.
I was like,
can you step up the intelligibility a little bit, just so people can understand what's happening?
Kosho, can you shut the fuck up? Because we're trying to do this conversation very calmly.
I'm being serious though. Like, I don't even know what's going on.
Oh, no, Kosho, I'm being very serious.
We're just having a walk down memory lane of how I got into this.
Kosho, I'm being very serious. Having a very calm conversation about Emo's hereditary interference. And Kosho, if you want to talk loud as fuck, go ahead. But we're talking calmly today.
Yeah, like I say, I mean, I was always into conspiracies anyway. But the flat Earth was too much.
Right.
I remember being on that channel for like 2 weeks before I looked at it. But I was saying to him, take it off his channel because it's going to discredit all the other conspiracies.
Well, I thought that like you actually got into it before then.
Oh, you
like,
got that on your channel? Take it down.
Oh,
and he was like, "Have you looked at it?"
Who did that? Who did that?
Conspiracy dude.
Because I thought that like you actually got into a situation where you was actually trying to hide yourself. Because the first time we met Kimo was Simbi's. And you kind of had this gimp.
How do you know that was me?
Well, we know it was you, Kimo.
How do you know?
Was it not you?
You know it was me.
We don't know.
You don't.
So was that not? It wasn't. That's totally fine.
I guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
French, what the hell are you doing, man?
I don't know. It's like an interview. Fucking, I don't know. Just talking, dude. What's wrong with it? Why can't we do this? Why is this so wrong? Why does like this feel so wrong to everyone? Me and Kimo had just be talking. Why is that wrong? So that's actually how we should be fucking handling
How
our...
come Witsit was moved to the room, Kosho?
I actually think that was appropriate. I think that we're going to start doing something at times like that when it's appropriate. Grant, I'm not going to let you just keep talking over me. You just asked me a question, dude. I'm just going to answer the question. Branch, you got to have a little bit more self-awareness in this, man. All right?
We're not going to fuck up. We're not going to fuck up my and Kimo's discussion.
Branch, I don't want to have to do what you're going to make me do in like 2 seconds. So just don't make me do it, and then we're cool, okay? Because he just asked me a question. I'm just going to answer very quickly.
What are you going to make me do? Me and Kimo are having a civil discussion, and what are you going to do?
Fair enough, Branch. Let me answer his question quick, and I'll let you guys get back to it, okay? Give me a second.
Wait. Are you upset that me and Kimo can actually talk like civilized?
All right,
Branch, come on.
No, to answer your question very quickly, Kimo. Yeah, we probably had to do that, and you know what it gets like when Bev comes in here, Witsa comes in here, or anybody like if QE comes in here. You know, so when Dell came in here, it gets difficult to manage. Because there's people who want to they want to add stuff in, all that kind of stuff, and you saw that was happening earlier. You even complained about it. So Scott or somebody suggested to move down to the 1v1 room where the conversation could be more controlled and managed, so people, not too many people were jumping in and stuff at once. And we talked about maybe continuing to do something like that in the future. That way this room can stay relatively open, while if a conversation that is somewhat restricted needs to go down, it can go down in a room like that. So that's all.
Remind you that the idea of the room is like a dinner table. You know, where it's like one of those large tables in a big large hall. You know, we have guests, they come in. But the idea is just to manage, you know, and facilitate the conversation for, you know, the guests. I mean, we had 68 guests around the table yesterday. Everyone said their bit, everyone said their piece. And then what do we see? We see Veach come in, okay, and just try to split the table, rearrange the chairs. You sit over here, you put the table over, you know, it was just nonsense. In fact, you go in that room, grab the table, take it, you know, it was just, what's going on? I think you're losing sight.
I'd like to point out,
why is that the only trick you've got?
I think you're losing sight
Why
of
is
what...
lying
guys, can we please try to keep...
People will shout, Kosher, like Curb. Kick them out, get them out of the room. That's normal.
Right? People are not entertained by how boring your act is.
You don't have to stop. I get it. Kosher did do it.
And yeah, like I was trying to say,
do what?
But we can still keep
right now, Kosher. We're just around the dinner table. Everyone's having their bit to say. There's no need to split the tables up like we're in a
Is that why you removed me from the server altogether last week, Kimo? Why'd you do that?
So the idea is to keep the dinner table as together as much as we can.
So why did you remove me from the room that the dinner table was in last week?
Yeah, I was having a private conversation in the office. That wasn't dinner table.
Well, I was muted, and everyone that was in the
room have conversations like civil people.
It was a one-on-one,
and people and Bev and that, they're not here for, because even Whitsitt said he doesn't want to have a private conversation. He wants to speak to the room.
And why did you remove me from the server for it?
He wanted to speak to the room. So
I was muted.
I don't think moving everyone around to facilitate one person, because that person could just leave at any time, Kosher. Just think about it. He could stay there 5 minutes, shoot off, and then now you've got a split room. People are wondering, well, what's going on? Where do we go from here?
That's fantastic. Go ahead, Kirk.
Whitsitt's not coming in to join a conversation. Whitsitt comes in to be the fucking center of attention. Okay, take that little sideshow off into another fucking room. Besides, Whitsitt's a fucking piece of shit. There's no reason for people to seriously engage him to begin with. Your opinion on this doesn't matter, Kimo. Why are we talking about this?
Well, and Kimo, the opinion of the people who participated in that, particularly Brian Peck, and a few others who were there at the end of their conversation, they thanked each other first of all, and then they also said that was actually more surprisingly useful for them to talk in that way.
Okay.
So they were saying that they preferred it like that if they're having those types of conversations.
Kojo, you are setting the tone of this conversation in a very hidden manner. Can we calm it down, please?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think probably why they thanked, because like I say, Veach was out of control. He was trying to overtake the conversation with Whitsitt.
Don't talk about Veach when he's not here,
a lot of people
don't go talking shit. I've been listening all day, alright?
You can't tell me what to talk about. I can talk about whatever I want to talk about. That's the idea of being around the table. We have our opinions.
We all try to get along instead of...
Pass me the butter.
I've listened to you guys talk about flat earthers all morning. So stop being hypocritical. That's all you talk about when the flat earthers not here. Is the flat earthers.
Actually pretend we are...
You talk about QE, you talk about
I want to hear what Kimo wants to say. Shut up.
You talk about Kimo, you talk about David, you talk about Jeremy when they're all not here. So stop being hypocritical.
Kimo. Quick question to you, brother. Would you talk this way at a dinner table?
Yeah, it's a big dinner table. You've got to shout to get to hear the other end of the table.
I understand that.
No, this is just the ball earthers trying to control the flat earthers' thought pattern.
Even if
right?
they
don't talk about this, don't talk about when they do it all day long. All we ever hear is flat earthers this, flat earthers that.
Kimo, can you at least try to answer back in a very civil way, even if they present the question in a very slight?
Yeah, but this is part of the problem: is the hypocrisy. Okay. On the globe Earth, this is why the flat earthers are very angry with the ball earthers. They come in like wildfire.
Do not understand why these discussions have to.
Look what just happened here. I'm discussing a ball earther, and all Rigger said, don't talk about ball earthers when they're not here. When all the ball earthers do all day long, every single minute of every single day, is talk about flat earthers when they're not here.
Have you ever tried to not being a disruptor?
So we were,
you know what, mate? You're right. We do. We talk about flat earthers all the time when they're
all
not
the time.
Here. Who
Every,
say who you leave, talk about? All right,
go for it. Talk shit you analyze
the
what
fuck
they
you
do.
want to talk. Just pass me the butter, Kimo.
Oh, there you go. Can you pass that along there, Kosho?
Excuse me, sorry.
Pass the butter to Rig.
Oh, sure.
Thanks,
I don't have it. I'll find someone who's got it. Sure.
Oh my god. You never get it, do you, Kosho?
I'm sorry, I'm talking to somebody.
Your sister.
Like I say, last night we had like I say, all day yesterday there was up to 68 people. Everyone was giving their opinions.
Are you still whining about this? This is settled. It's done. What else can we talk about, Kimo? Quit your whining. Hey, why don't you tell me where this line is between gas pressure and vacuum?
Oh yeah, we can.
You know what you want a demonstration of? Where the fuck is it?
I've just posted a picture. I gave it to you.
Why should we demonstrate this to you when we don't even claim it exists?
No, but you show pictures
so go on,
of it.
Kimo. Give an answer to that. If you want to talk about something of substance. Answer that fucking question.
You show pictures of it. You show video of it. What are we looking at exactly? What is that black area? What is that blue area? Nicely. That's what we're trying to find out. How are they getting above the dome?
No. No, already you're off the rails. You're off the rails already, Kimo.
How do they get to that height? How are they getting outside of the atmosphere?
Want us
like
to demonstrate to you gas pressure next to a vacuum without that container or the barrier between that pressure and the vacuum. We don't have that. Why are you asking for this?
Yeah, that's what happens. If you speak to NASA, they'll tell you they're in the vacuum of space.
How do you get your hair to look like that, Kimo?
Like what? You've been watching me.
It doesn't matter. It's an example of an irrelevant question.
Yeah, but why are you on about me?
Because you're irrelevant.
That's why you're asking
Kimo,
about me.
Listen. You're asking for something that our model doesn't have. We don't claim it. It's not part of the model. It's a straw man. You heard that term before? Straw man?
No, we're talking about what NASA's saying. We're not talking about your model. Who cares about the made-up, reified model? What we're talking about is what we see outside. Of course. We're told that
Flat
ISS,
Earth is a goddamn straw man factory.
But who cares about what your model says? We're not talking about your model.
All you fucks ever do.
We're talking about what NASA tells us.
Run your fucking mouth, Kimo.
We're not talking about the model.
But do it with substance. Do it with integrity for once. For once in your goddamn miserable, pathetic fucking life.
I can put up with this, whereas most flat earthers...
Try being honest about something.
Most flat earthers will just lay into him and call him all kinds of names.
Can't do it.
When he goes on like this. You see?
It would kill you to be fucking honest.
I don't mind. Because I understand he's in pain, he's suffering, and he's going through the motions right now. Because he's understanding that. I'm not talking about the model. I'm talking about what NASA say, that there is a vacuum next to the gas pressure.
No, there's no... Where? Where?
Well, NASA go into the vacuum of space. That's why they wear space helmets.
Where?
Around 62 miles up, roughly.
What is the pressure differential between one side of that line and the other side of this line that you're talking about?
So you've got high pressure and low pressure.
I want numbers.
At the surface, they say 14.75.
At the surface. The surface is not 62 miles up. Try again, bitch.
No, but the surface is next to the vacuum. Only a thin layer.
Where do you get these words from?
Don't you understand how vast space is? And the ball is just like a little marble.
Are you next to the Kármán line? Go ahead, touch the Kármán line, Kimo. Show me how you're next to the Kármán line.
That Kármán line when you're out of the blue. When you're in the black. So once you're in the black,
Hey,
out
keep
of the
trying
blue.
to be funny, Kimo.
Once you're out of the blue and in the black, you're in space.
Look, this is boring. Okay, this is very, very boring. This is an example of why sane people don't talk to you like it's an actual fucking debate. Sane people don't talk to you the way that Druss does, thinking that we're going to get somewhere. I'm just making a point here, Kimo. You're a disingenuous piece of shit. You cannot be engaged in proper conversation. This is why you are worthy of nothing but mockery and fucking ridicule. You're a liar. You play a retard. There's no reason to take you fucking seriously or to show you any form of respect.
Well, that's the power of this question, right? How do you have gas pressure next to a vacuum? Sends people into delirium.
The question is a lie, Kimo.
It's what we're told from NASA. They go into a vacuum.
No, it's not. You're lying.
No, that's what NASA say.
That's it. That ends it right there. You're lying. Talk about something else now.
Confirming it then.
Try to be entertaining. Dance, monkey.
Let's get NASA confirming
Stop
it.
doing
They're in the
this.
vacuum of space. And that's why they wear space suits. What's wrong with you? Not because it's cold, Curve. They're not wearing woolly hats and a scarf.
What else you got, Kimo? This is dead.
They're protecting their lungs so they can breathe, right? They understand how a spacesuit works.
Because they're actually out in the vacuum.
They're in the vacuum,
Not
and they're
miles
in
away.
what they call a pressure suit. Pressurized suit. Why do you think the suit is pressurized, Curved?
Kimo's gonna do what Kimo's gonna do. Kimo
Well, you
owns
just rambled
the
on
fucking
for
room.
around 35,
Everybody pay
45
the
seconds,
price.
unedited, uninterrupted. And then when I ask you a simple question about why do you think they're wearing a
Hey,
spacesuit?
fuck you about uninterrupted. You don't give anybody else that fucking respect. Why should anybody give it to you?
Uninterrupted.
Fuck up, you just said uninterrupted.
What?
I don't care what you're talking about, Kimo. It doesn't matter. All you're doing is just fucking ruining shit.
We are
You're
absolutely
impossible to have a
destroying
fucking
the
real
globe.
conversation with.
And we're showing
Go
that
on,
when you
serve
make silly
yourself.
claims like gas pressure next to vacuum.
Fuck anybody that tries to engage.
Well, I mean, how are you going to talk about that? What's to talk about? Well, let me think about it. I've got the gas pressure, I've got a vacuum. Now let me think how I have them side by side without the container. What's to talk about?
You're lying. They're not side by side. It's a lie.
No, NASA say they're in the vacuum of space.
No, do not say. Again, you're lying.
Well, I'm just going to find a
You've got
video.
to all ask about Spurs.
What?
Come on, get with the truth, mate. Get with the truth.
Getting it up. Getting it up.
That truth.
What you're saying is said isn't what is said. You've got it all wrong, mate. And then you're asking for things that aren't being said.
You're saying it's not a vacuum.
No, mate. No, mate. I can't explain it to you because you won't understand it.
It is different.
Whether it's deliberate or a mental disability, I don't know, mate. But you just won't get it.
Probably a disability, because I can't see how you can have these things in nature.
That's my point. You can't see.
Can you see it?
Yep.
How does it work?
Clear as a.
What's your explanation for it?
Oh, it's no point, mate.
No point in saying your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You, Kimo. You refuse to learn, you refuse to listen, so why the fuck talk to you?
I'll give you.
Because this is not. We've already had the globe education, right?
See, Kimo, we can demonstrate what you like by me asking a simple question. An explanation for what?
An explanation for how we have all that vacuum, low pressure, next to the high pressure.
See, and there it is. That's the lie. You couldn't even get that right. We've told you how many times now that there is not a vacuum next to a high pressure?
So what is it then?
It's not a vacuum next to a high pressure.
So what is
That's
it
what
then?
it is. That's what it is.
What is it then?
I just told you what it is.
So it's just all high pressure.
I just said it's not next to a high pressure.
So what is it then?
Come on, mate. You've been told.
It's you refusing to learn, Kimo. That's what it is.
So it is, and you can't explain it.
You see? There you go. That's the point where you spin it around.
You only go by what NASA tell us.
Well, guess what? NASA tells us it's a globe. NASA tells us that it's not a vacuum next to a high pressure. So get with it.
So what is it?
We can only go by what NASA tells us. It's a globe, Kimo.
Yeah, we can test that. We can test what NASA say.
No, we only go with what NASA tells us, according to you. We go with what NASA tells us. It's a globe.
We are going with what NASA tells us. They say it's a globe. They say.
Oh, thank you then. Debate over. Might as well all go home.
We're arguing about what NASA say. That's the point. We're debating. We're disputing what NASA say. NASA say it's a globe. NASA say you got gas pressure.
You don't even know what NASA says. You can't even get what NASA says right.
That's the point, Spurs. Do you get it? You don't
yeah,
know what's
NASA
being
say
said.
that they go into an area that is low pressure, which is a vacuum. No molecules, no gas or things to push off. How would they be able to breathe without the spacesuit?
Again, that's not what NASA say. NASA don't say that there's no molecules to push off, do they? NASA didn't say that.
Well, why do they wear the spacesuit?
Did NASA say there were no molecules to push off of?
No.
Of course not. So why are you claiming that NASA said that?
Because NASA say the atmosphere goes up to the moon. So of course there's stuff to push off. But I'm asking, why do they wear the spacesuit if there's atmosphere all the way up to the moon?
Go read it. Go read that article about the moon being in Earth's atmosphere. Go read the article.
Where is it?
Oh.
He's seen it before. He's seen it before. He's read it before. Don't entertain him by giving it to him again. He knows where to find it.
Anything for him. Fuck. Why should I? Like I said, he refuses to want to understand. So.
Oh, I understand the process. I understand the idea, but practically.
So why do you think they have to wear a spacesuit, Spurs?
The what?
This would be funny. Why do you think they have to wear a spacesuit?
Well, there's no air up there.
So?
And they'll be crushed, or they'll explode.
Which one?
Why? Why would they do either?
Why would they? Because there's no pressure up there.
Yeah, so?
So if there's no pressure, what do you think happens when you go up in altitude?
I don't know. What happens?
You don't know what happens when you go up in altitude? In low pressure?
Well, your ears pop. You might get a nosebleed.
Yeah, why is that happening?
Because you're going up in altitude. You just said it.
Yeah, I'm asking why, though. Why?
Exactly, why?
Yeah, why do your ears pop? Why is your blood start boiling?
We want you to answer it. Why?
Well, that's what was is finding out.
Well, why are they wearing a spacesuit?
That's what we're finding out, yeah. So you
So
just said their ears will pop and their blood will start boiling because there's no pressure.
Are you saying they're wearing a spacesuit to stop that?
What do you think the spacesuit is? It's a pressure suit, right?
Are you saying they wear a spacesuit to stop the ears from popping and blood from boiling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you not know that was?
No, I wanted you to know that.
It
You
sounded
were
like
asking
you
the
just said
question.
that they
You
wear the
see-
spacesuit as a pressure suit, Kimo.
You were asking why do they wear a spacesuit? I asked you, and then you answered it.
Yeah, because there's no pressure up there, right?
So
That's the idea, yeah?
The thing I was pointing out is that you're full of furfies, mate, because you asked a question you knew the answer to.
That was the point. That's why I asked you to see if you knew why they wear a suit.
Oh, dear.
So you saying you don't know?
Yeah, the teacher will usually ask the student questions, right?
Can we
To make
can we
sure they're
stay on
following
that for a
class.
second? Because now I'm confused.
So why do you wear a spacesuit? Was.
Oh, no,
What-
you answered that just now.
Yeah, but I'm seeing if Was knows that now the answer, if he's learnt the answer. Does he now know
Stop
why
your blood
they
from
wear
boiling
spacesuits?
and your ears
Before
from
also,
popping.
He said
I
he
just-
didn't know before, remember? He said he didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Do you know now, Was, why
Mhm.
they wear spacesuits?
I'm still a little unsure.
Still unsure. So that's what I'm saying,
You know
Kosher. So
that in my school.
that's why I'm a little bit
Experience
lost, because
my blood
Was is
boiling.
not sure why the astronauts wear spacesuits.
Can you repeat what you said before, Kimo? The reason?
They're pressurized suits, yeah?
Well, yeah, that's what I was confused about. Was because why would they need pressurized suits up there?
Keep the pressure in.
If there's no pressure.
All right, that's would be my that'd be my conclusion as well. But I was just curious because I thought that you were under the impression that we don't have pressure down here.
No, I was asking Was, in his worldview, why do they wear spacesuits?
No, that's been dealt with, mate.
He said he didn't
That
know.
question's been
So I've had to
answered.
tell
No,
him
you're
about
back
his.
to lying
Yeah,
again,
because-
Kimo.
I've had to tell him about his worldview and teach him about what he's been told as a child. Remind him.
Or
I have to show you that you actually.
the actual.
I have to show you that you're actually full of it.
Yeah. Lying
Almost
out
like
your ass.
that's the answer that you knew also, but now you're just saying it's the answer from what he learned.
Yeah,
But
that's what
is
they
that
tell us.
wrong with
If you ask your teacher why do the astronauts wear spacesuits, they'll tell you because there's no pressure.
So
up
you
there.
know the answer.
But now you're a teacher.
You know the answer. So, do you think we have a high pressure next to a vacuum without a container?
Yeah, the vacuum of space is vast, and all of that low pressure would suck the high pressure in the available space.
I'm not understanding right now. Okay, let me just ask you, Kimo, because maybe I'm just confused, man. I don't understand if you think there's a high pressure or there's any pressure at all. I thought that you were under the impression there was no pressure in the atmosphere.
Yeah, atmospheric pressure. There is no atmospheric pressure.
You said what you've been saying then, because you just said that the vacuum next to the pressurized system, but then I don't understand what pressurized
Yeah,
system.
so the atmospheric pressure next to the vacuum of space. How is that possible? The atmosphere, the gas pressure that you say you breathe, next
What
to
pressure?
the vacuum of space.
Said you
Because
don't
there's
believe it.
pressure gradient.
You just hey, hang on. You just taught me that when you get to a low pressure, you need your blood will boil, and your ears will pop. So the pressure I'm breathing doesn't do that.
Pressure you're breathing doesn't do that.
Yeah, you just said, how can you have the pressure you're breathing next to a vacuum? The pressure I'm breathing isn't that low next to a vacuum.
Pressure you're breathing is supposed to be
pressure
high
next to
pressure.
the pressure next to the vacuum is very low. The pressure I'm breathing isn't next to a vacuum.
No, the pressure next to the vacuum is high. Got 50 miles of atmosphere.
See, now you're lying again. Now you're just
talking about
lying again.
altitude.
You've got 50
You
miles of
just taken
atmosphere.
what I've said and-
You've got clouds at 50 miles.
Oh, you're a
That's
bloody
50
goose.
miles
You're
of
being a bloody
atmosphere, high pressure next to low pressure. Where's
That's
this
not high
gradient?
pressure,
If
mate.
you've got 50-mile clouds, water at 50 miles, where's it getting thinner and thinner and thinner?
When you say high, what do you mean?
Yeah, if NASA tell us it's clouds at 50
No,
miles,
when you
where's the
hang on,
gradient?
don't worry about NASA.
Explain
When
to me
you
the
say
gradient
high,
then
what
was.
do you mean? When you say high, what do you mean?
50 miles high.
So you've got 50-mile high pressure. Is that what you mean?
Well, so what? If you've got water, clouds, what is that?
Are you saying high pressure as in it's up high, or are you saying high pressure as it's a high PSI?
Yeah, so from the ground to 50 miles, you've got atmosphere. Clouds as high as 50
Yeah, and
miles.
what's the pressure?
The Kármán line is roughly 62
ridiculous.
miles. So between 50 miles on the ground, you've got high pressure next to low pressure.
What is the pressure at 50 miles?
So up to 50 miles, you've got the same.
What is the pressure at 50 miles high?
The same it is down here.
No, it's not. You're lying.
Why would it change?
You're lying.
Why would it change?
You are lying.
Why would it change?
You are lying.
Why would it change? If you've got water at 50
It's
miles.
been measured. Don't lie.
Who's measured it?
It's been measured.
By
Don't
who?
lie.
How can you measure something when the temperature goes down to minus 50? Your devices will freeze up. Who's taking
If
the
it
measure?
hasn't been measured, how do you know what the pressure is up there?
You don't know what the pressure is.
Then why are you claiming it's the same as down here?
Because that's what the same effect, the same pressure.
You haven't measured it. You can't make the claim that it's the same as
It
down
can't
here.
be measured.
Then you can't make the claim.
That's the point. You can't feel pressure. You can't measure something you don't feel.
So you're lying.
No, you say it can't be measured, so you can't make the claim, mate.
Well, measuring. What are you measuring? Pressure. What pressure are you measuring?
It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
You say it can't be measured, so you can't make the claim.
But what we see in the pictures
You
from
can't.
NASA,
You can't make the claim that the pressure is the same up there as it is down here, and then make a claim that there's no pressure.
No. I'm saying you've got
Then make
water
another claim
pressure.
that it can't be measured.
I'm saying you've got water pressure.
Your
and
two
that's it.
claims are mutually exclusive. They contradict each other.
No. You're confusing.
You're saying that the pressure.
Yeah.
You're saying that the pressure is the same up there as it is down here, and then in the next very few words, you're saying that there is no pressure.
Yeah, because you're confusing the pressure we're talking about. You're talking about
And you also
atmospheric
said that
pressure.
you can't measure the
Atmospheric
pressure.
pressure. There is no atmospheric pressure. We have water pressure, if that's what you mean.
Wrong.
I'm talking
Why
about the
would you
water.
bring
That
water
blue
pressure
that
into
we
this?
see is water. Where it's black,
No, you're
it's not
wrong.
water.
Just wrong. That's hilarious.
That just has to go
Where's
down
the
as one of
water go
the
at night?
dumbest things I've ever heard.
Where's the water go at night when it goes black?
Yeah.
Does that mean that we're all breathing water at the moment?
It's me. I don't have gills though. Does anyone else?
Yeah, we're all underwater then.
I mean, I'd go as far as to say that gas is a hoax. I mean, what does gas look like? Has anyone ever seen this invisible gas? No. And when you look at gas,
I've never seen you.
when you look
We
at
don't
the
exist, so go away.
when we look at the
Can you see the
invisible
invisible-
atmosphere
hey,
through
Spurs,
a
Spurs,
special lens, what we
Spurs,
see
hang
is that
on.
it moves like water. So show
Can you
me
see
gas,
the
show me
invisible
bouncy
man?
molecules,
Do I
and then
exist?
we can talk about gas.
Can you see
Kimo,
the invisible
you have never
man?
seen me. Do I exist?
No, let's have a look at gas, what you're talking about. What does
Sure?
gas look like?
Maybe I don't exist.
It's invisible.
What does it look
If you
like?
want to look at it, it's invisible.
You've never even
It's
seen gas.
invisible.
You've never seen it then.
Invisible.
So how do you know it's there then?
Invisible.
How do you know it's there then?
We
Because
can
it has-
measure it.
You can
Because
measure,
it
you can
has
measure
mass.
something you can't
Because,
see.
because it has mass and momentum.
How do you measure something you can't see?
You don't need to see something to measure it.
You need to see it to measure it. So that's what I'm asking. How have you measured
No, of
something?
course not.
That's what I'm asking you. How did you measure something you couldn't see?
Why do you need to see it to measure it?
How do you know what you're measuring if you can't see it?
How do you?
That's going to be my next video about the gas
What,
hoax,
you actually
because
give us some
we've never
measurements?
looked at gas under the microscope.
Can you see the electricity running through the wires?
No, but we can feel it.
But you can measure it, can't you?
We can feel it.
Yeah.
We can feel it. We can.
Yeah,
feel
well,
the
we
power.
can feel the gas too, dude.
Oh, you can feel the gas, can you? What
you
What
can.
does it feel like? Is it shocking?
Exactly like right now.
What does it
Never
feel like?
felt wind,
Does it
Kimo.
feel shocking? What does gas feel like? It feels like liquid. Yeah? You take
Pressure.
a spray can and you spray it onto your hand, you have liquid on your hand. What it feels like, yeah?
Well, take your head out of your ass so you can fart, and then you'll feel the gas.
Have you seen that under a special camera?
You know,
Just a
you
stream
know,
of
when you use an
water.
air compressor, Spurs.
What?
An air compressor. Air compressor. You know, you've used an air compressor. I take it, and you got the little air gun on the end of the hose.
Okay.
You press that, the air comes out, and
Okay.
you can feel it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so let's carry on then. We're done here.
You're feeling what? When you press the spray?
You see how you don't listen,
I can barely hear you.
and then you
Your
think
mic
you
is
heard
really, really
something,
low,
and then you
Woz.
build a whole narrative around what you thought you heard, and what you thought you heard wasn't what was said.
You need to
and
fix
then
your
then you
microphone,
go
Woz.
down
I
this
can't hear a
track
word
that's
you say.
wrong.
Well,
Completely wrong.
Kimo, everyone else can hear him. Why can't you? You're pathetic.
Well, I missed that question, then we'll have to move on.
You said Waz? I heard Waz perfectly, man. Come
I can
on.
barely hear it.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, he's lying again. It's
Kimo,
just-
don't do that, man.
He
That's
can't open his
disrespectful,
mouth without a lie falling out.
That's
If I'm saying that I
disrespectful.
can't hear him, I can't hear him. If you
Your
can hear
fly's
him, then
open,
repeat
Spurs.
what he said and I'll answer it.
Your
If not,
zipper's
don't
undone,
repeat
mate.
what he said, and then we can move on.
You know, if you walk around with your zipper undone, you can feel the air.
You feel cold.
Do you?
What a fucking
Or you
idiot.
feel warmth. You don't feel gas. Invisible.
So you don't feel the wind when you go outside, then, Kimo?
You feel the temperature. Difference in temperature.
No, you feel the wind.
Yeah, whether
I'm
it's
not
a
talking
warm
about
wind
temperature,
or whether
I'm
it's a
talking about
cold
the wind.
wind. If it's a cold breeze, a cool breeze, a hot breeze.
Yeah, but you can feel it, can't you?
Yeah, you can feel all the density of the molecules, the water pressing against you.
What the fuck water's got to do with it? Water hasn't got anything to do with... Oh, fuck. Yeah, go ahead. I give up. Go on.
Yeah, quick while you're ahead, Richard.
No, well, because you're just so stupid, Kimo, that, you know, you're beyond even bothering with anymore.
No, he's trying to get information, not information.
Stick to
He's
your
trying
ad-
to get sound bites
stick to
for
your
his video.
ad-homs, not the
all his-
science snippet.
Kimo, in your opinion, does Australia exist?
Australia, as far as we're aware, is on the map. It's been discovered. We
No,
have
no,
Australians.
no.
So yeah, sure, why not?
To someone who's never been there, can they prove that Australia exists?
And can I prove? I can't prove it unless I go there,
Why
but
not?
I accept that Australia exists, yeah?
You accept it, but why can't you prove it?
How would you prove Australia exists?
How do you prove that? Come on, show us.
How do I prove
I've never been
the
to
place-
Australia. How can I prove Australia exists?
To who? To myself? To you?
You know what? I just assume for a second I've never been there. So prove to me if Australia exists.
Can't prove it. We can show evidence unless we go there, right?
What do you mean?
So we can show evidence like people from there. We can show a map. We can show video. This is all evidence. We can show
But all
give you
could be faked,
directions.
right?
What?
Could be faked, right? I mean, let's face it. If I fly from California to UK and people in UK say they're in Australia, then they could be lying to me, right?
No.
Why not?
Why would they lie about that?
It's hypotheticals for Kimo. Simply put, do you believe half the shit you say?
It's not about what I believe. It's about what you believe.
No, it doesn't matter. Do you believe half the shit you say? It's a simple question.
It's not about me, right? Because I'm not making any claims. We're talking about the people who think that they can have gas pressure without the container. You can have a vacuum next to gas pressure without the container. That's the claim. That's what's on the table. It's not whether I believe that or not.
To everyone else, I apologize. Okay? Just so you know.
People get stuck on the science thing, and they just want to be able to give opinions on something they don't understand, right?
Kimo, show me show me one video where Glober said there's gas pressure next to a vacuum.
No, it's not about you Globers. It's about what we're told.
Show me one video where we claim there's high pressure to a vacuum, Kimo, without a container.
So, have you seen where NASA send their ISS?
That is always the flat earthers. They say that. No, never a Glober.
Look, what's the deal then? So, are we saying that there is no vacuum of space now? You're conceding this?
No, we're saying that you put words in other people's mouths, Kimo, and you're full of shit.
That's the problem. You don't seem to know your own story of what is and what isn't.
You don't know the story that you continually tell because it keeps fucking changing every 5 minutes.
I mean, you say we're lying, Mippet. I mean, the Actonauts are the biggest liars to mankind,
fall out.
right? This is outright fraud here, in your face. They're in a studio pretending to be in space.
Should be in jail, or in
well,
one
somebody
of those
will be in jail for this crime.
Asylums.
Pretending that you're in a place that doesn't exist. Okay. Deceiving millions of children, pretending that you're doing something that is impossible, that defies science. I mean, this is out of order, Mippet.
And can I have citations for that?
Who do they think they are, deceiving us like this? Right?
Who do you think you are?
Yeah, who do you think you are, deceiving us with claims that aren't real?
Look, we are the people who have to make sure
you make bullshit up.
We're the people of the earth, right? It's
no,
like,
I don't.
you know, like we recycle. No. Why do people recycle? We look after the earth, right? We put plastic and metal and paper into different sections.
Yeah, we know what recycling is.
Okay, so that's what we do. It's our duty to look after where we live. Now, we've got a bunch of absolute frauds pretending that there is something going on.
That the earth is flat.
What?
Pretending that the earth is flat.
No. They're pretending that they're in a low
they are. They're
pretending
because they have no evidence. They have no evidence, so therefore they're pretending.
Now, our evidence is science.
No, it's not.
Yeah, because we can demonstrate that what they're telling us is impossible.
No, you can't.
Mippet, you can as well. Try and get your spray can and have the gas in that can without the can.
You're a liar.
Become a scientist, Mippet, for once in your life.
But what is with your claim there's no gas pressure anyway?
Take your spray can, Mippet, and pierce a hole in it. Now try and trap the gas that escapes with gravity, or with space-time.
Would that work for you?
And that should dawn on you, well, hey, they're saying that there's low pressure next to high pressure. That's what you should be focused on, Mippet, not individual.
No, I know there's a pressure gradient, dear.
Pressure? Where does the pressure come from, Mippet?
You choose not to understand.
Where does the pressure come from, Mippet?
Kimo, what causes the pressure inside that spray can?
The walls of the container, Paul. The walls. Without the walls of the container, there is no pressure.
Hang on. So if it's the walls of the container, shouldn't there be pressure in there even if there's no air in there? Because the walls create the pressure?
Yeah, without the walls, there's no pressure.
Wow.
Why? Because you said the because you said the walls create the pressure.
Yeah,
so if there's walls there must be pressure, right?
So, according to that logic, I only need one can of spray paint to do absolutely everything.
Why did compressors need a motor if only the walls make the compression?
No, that's why there is no atmospheric pressure, because we don't have walls of a container. And
no,
there's no
that's
gravity.
a lie. Another lie.
Oh, so we do have a wall of a container, Mippet.
Yes,
What's
you have
the
the
what's the
ground. The
difference?
ground is one wall.
Mippet has no idea what she's talking about. So we have a wall of a container, Mippet, outside, yeah?
What's the difference between atmospheric and gas?
So gas pressure is it's off the walls of the container, as I just said, and atmospheric pressure requires a force, gravity, to pull the atmosphere down. And we don't have gravity because gravity is not a force. Therefore, the atmosphere can have no pressure.
And again, you just lied 3 times in a row. Congratulations.
That's the difference, Andrea, is outside it's being pulled down by gravity, and in a little box,
There's no
in a little
gravity.
can, in a container, it's the walls, only the walls, not gravity.
You just said there's no gravity.
Prove to me there's no gravity, Kimo.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
Prove it to me. Show some
You're allowing him to divert.
We're going to show you
You're allowing him to lead you away from the topic.
What?
You're allowing him to lead you away from the topic, aren't you, Kimo?
Well,
you're leading us away from the topic.
We're talking about your claim of
No,
pressure,
you're claiming whatever.
Atmospheric pressure. That's all I'm saying. There is no atmospheric pressure. That's it. And
You're wrong.
Atmospheric pressure
There's no
requires
pressure, okay?
gravity.
And
Now,
what
this
if,
wasn't
if
supposed
you
to
have
get
a glass of pickles and you can't open the lid? What hold the glass closed?
How does the walls make the pressure, Kimo?
Oh, so obviously we have reaction, equal reaction, opposite reaction. So when the particles
With what?
When the particle hits the wall, so when you fill up a can, the particles are going to start hitting the walls and this will start bouncing all over the place, right? And that's why you've got to keep it contained, and you keep the pressure up. You increase the pressure, you increase the force, and obviously you can blow a can up.
So rather than carrying on and on and on,
you get it, Paul. You
nonsense, right? What happens when one of those particles hits the wall?
They obviously react against the wall and go the other way, go in the opposite direction.
Okay, so for them to change direction, what do you have to do to that particle for it to change direction?
But to change direction?
Yeah.
What happens?
Well, because they're moving free, they're just colliding all over the place, supposedly, right?
Yeah, okay, but it's going in one direction. How do I get it to change to another direction?
Oh, you need another. You gotta introduce another force.
Sure, you do. Is that what the walls do?
The walls just create. Well, no, because again, if it hits the wall, it depends on the angle, right? It could just go back and forth until another force acts on it to change the direction. Yeah.
What do you mean back and forth?
So again, if it's just going in one vector, in order for it to go into another vector, you would need, like I say, a force.
Well, we can assume that if it's a closed container, that after a while, no matter which direction the particle's going in, it's going to hit a wall, isn't it?
Yeah, but if I've got one particle in the can...
Is that true? It's going to hit a wall, isn't it?
Yeah, but let's say if I've got one...
Is that true? It's going to hit a wall, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying now, yeah. It goes down, it hits the wall.
Well, a simple yes would have
and then
done.
It goes back
now,
up.
when it hits the wall, it will change direction, right?
It will go in another direction, yeah. Depending on the angle that it hit the wall. Depending on what...
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, just like a billiard ball round a pool table, right? It depends on the angle as to what angle it goes off at, right?
There you go. Now, if you hit the pool
right,
ball...
okay.
Table,
So now that you've agreed...
Forever.
Okay, so did the wall put a force on that molecule for it to change direction?
No, just hit the wall, Paul.
Well, how did the particle change direction if a force wasn't put on it?
Because it was hit by the wall and it changed direction.
Yeah. So the wall put a force on the particle, right?
Well, the wall didn't actually hit the particle. Hit the wall, right?
Yeah. So the wall put a force on the particle. Yeah.
No. The force came from when the was already inserted in the can.
Did the particle put a force on the wall?
Yes.
Doesn't every action have an equal and opposite reaction? Well, then the wall put a force on the particle, right?
Yeah, it's got an well, no, yeah, you could look at it like that, yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, Newton's laws are crap, aren't they?
Well,
you know?
they are
So-
about to go out the window, yeah.
Yeah, but we know that third law holds, right?
Yeah, okay. What's the point
So-
of all of this?
Okay. The point of this argument is, you've no doubt seen a marshmallow in a vacuum chamber, haven't you?
Yep.
What happens when we increase the pressure in that vacuum chamber?
Or squash?
Why?
Because you're applying pressure to it.
What does that mean? How can I apply pressure to the marshmallow? How can I apply pressure to the marshmallow if it's the walls that create the pressure?
So you're increasing the pressure in the container.
What is actually hitting the marshmallow?
I mean, what's hitting the marshmallow?
What's hitting the marshmallow? It's not the walls of the container, is it?
No, it's just a marshmallow. So if you're going to increase the pressure into a marshmallow, it will explode after a certain point.
Increase the pressure, it'll explode? I thought you said that it would compress and get smaller.
Yeah, and obviously it will get too. It's not strong enough to withstand that.
What's making it get smaller?
So you've got the particles entering the container.
Is it the air molecules hitting the marshmallow that are making it smaller?
You could say that, yeah.
Because they're hitting the marshmallow, aren't they? And they're bouncing off the marshmallow. The marshmallow is exerting a force on the molecules, and the molecules are exerting a force on the marshmallow, right? And so the marshmallow gets smaller, yeah?
Yeah, but that's obviously from the walls of the container as well.
Yeah, but that's nowhere near the walls of the container. And
Yeah,
yet
but
we still
without
have
the
a
walls,
pressure.
you won't be able to squash
You
the
have-
marshmallow.
Do we have a pressure next to that marshmallow?
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's pressure everywhere in the container then, isn't there? Not just near the walls.
What's the point? I don't get your point.
The point is, it's not the walls that create the pressure. It's the molecules themselves that create the pressure, Kimo. It's the mass and the momentum of the molecules crashing into the walls that create the pressure on the walls.
That's what I said.
Okay?
The walls
That's
of
how
the
you measure
container, yeah.
pressure. The walls don't create the pressure.
I didn't
It's the
say
gas
that. I said when the molecules
Yes,
hit.
yes, you did. You did so. You said that the walls create the pressure.
No, you asked that, and I said no. It's the other way around.
No, you said exactly what you said.
You know what you're saying, Mippet.
Multiple recordings of this, Kimo, so...
Do you even know what you're saying, Mippet?
Keep going.
The point is that
More
wherever
sound.
the point is that wherever we have air molecules, those air molecules have mass and momentum, and we will have pressure.
Yeah, but they
Okay,
require
don't need
force.
walls. We don't need walls to create that pressure. All we need
No.
is
They
all we
have to
need.
have-
Not finished yet. All we need is air molecules moving to create a pressure. That's all we need.
Like you need a force to get them accelerating in the first place.
Yeah, because when those molecules hit something, they will exert a force on it, and that is pressure. Don't
When
need
it hits
container
the walls,
for
that's
that.
obvious. That's what we've been telling you. When it hits the walls of the container, that's where the pressure comes from.
No.
Yes.
The pressure is inherent in the movement of the molecules themselves.
Well, then try and do it
in
without the
first
container.
place.
Show me the pressure without the container.
Walk outside.
Exactly, Paul. You can't show pressure without the container. That's the
Just
point.
like Mippet said, just walk outside. There
And
ain't no
I don't
container
feel
out there.
pressure. I don't see pressure. There is no pressure. No device can detect pressure. Where's the pressure?
Well, that's a lie, because you know there are devices that can measure that pressure.
Yeah, they're measuring gravity, which doesn't exist.
No, they're not. They're measuring pressure.
Where
Don't
does
lie.
the pressure come from? Not a container, right?
That's right.
Well,
not a
you're telling
container.
the story.
Comes from gravity.
Shit.
The pressure comes from the air molecules moving. Remember, those air molecules have mass and momentum, and when they hit something, they exert a force on it. That's pressure.
Yeah. Where does it come from?
The
Acceleration.
moving air molecules.
Where did the acceleration come? How did it start?
Come on, Kimo, be honest. You're the one that claims, right, that air molecules are moving around in all directions.
How did they start moving? What gave them the acceleration in the first place?
All molecules move.
How? By magic?
No.
By what then?
Well, there's a number of factors that can influence the velocity, like winds, pressure differentials.
What causes this pressure differential?
Go Google it.
See? And this is why, Paul, you
Yeah,
can't escape
everybody's
this.
time.
Okay?
You know?
Go round and
Waste
round and round and round as much as
everybody's
you can.
Go
but
look it up
it's
yourself.
inevitable. Okay? You need gravity to pull or push or cause the acceleration for these molecules. And without the gravity...
We do. We need gravity.
We do.
You do. Why are you interrupting me?
I'm agreeing with you. You need gravity.
We do. Yeah, but you can agree with me after I've finished my statement, please. Okay. So we do need gravity to create that pressure here without a container, right? Because the weight of the air molecules causes the pressure.
Weight, you can't have weight without gravity.
That's correct.
So there's no weight. Things don't really have weight, do they? Do they really have weight? I mean, once they're equalized, can you weigh anything?
Well, we do.
How can you weigh something once it's equalized?
Equalized with what?
Exactly. Once it's once we're in equilibrium, you cannot weigh the object.
Equilibrium with what?
Itself. Once it's at rest, can't weigh it.
What?
Like, for example, as I've said, you take a big...
What do you mean by equilibrium with itself?
Yeah, what you mean by it is that there are forces acting on it. I mean the opposite, where there are no forces acting on it. And what I mean is that you can't show that there are forces acting on an object that is in equilibrium. So we can argue over the definition. The point is, practically, can you show when an object's in equilibrium, can you weigh it?
I can show there are forces acting on something that's in equilibrium by removing one of the forces.
No, you're just removing what's impeding it. On finding equilibrium.
You're just talking nonsense now.
No, if something's being held back from finding its place, then that's not weighing it. We're just looking at the resistance that's going on.
Are you claiming that air has no weight?
Air has no weight. Unless you can show with a force behind it, how can it?
And yet you've been told this example over and over again, that a scuba tank full of air weighs more than an empty scuba tank. Why?
Got the container. You can't weigh that without the container.
The container is not contributing to the extra weight. The container weighs the same, full or empty.
No.
Right?
But to weigh the
However,
gas...
the whole lot...
What?
The whole lot, gas included, weighs different then, doesn't it? You fill it with gas and it weighs more. Why? You didn't change the mass of the container in any way.
So you're weighing the pressure that's that's being exerted on the walls of the container. That's all.
How do you weigh pressure?
You need a scale. You need a wall. You need a gauge. A pressure gauge, Paul.
How do you weigh air?
A pressure gauge measures pressure, not weight.
Air, you've got to put it in a container. Once it's in the container, you can obviously get some readings, but without the container, you won't be able to weigh the air. So the air may have weight, but you will never know.
Are you seriously claiming that air has no weight unless you put it in a container?
Yeah, so you can't weigh the air outside here.
So does the air in my room have weight?
No.
Does the air in my sealed Tupperware container have weight?
In the sealed Tupperware? Yeah, if it's pressurized, then yeah.
Okay, so I could make that entire Tupperware container weigh differently just simply by sealing the lid on it. Can I?
Yeah, if you trap extra air, if you pressurize it...
Not extra air. I've got the lid underneath the Tupperware container, so the top is open. Now let me finish, please. Let me finish. All right. Right. So I've got a pair of scales, right? And I've got my lid, and then I put the container on top of the lid. So the top of the container is open, and I weigh it. And let's say it weighs 200 grams. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lid and put it on the container and weigh it again. Will it weigh more, less, or the same?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you trap the air, it will weigh more. If you
will it weigh more, less, or the same?
It will weigh the same.
But you're telling me that air has weight when it's trapped inside the container.
You said it wasn't trapped. You said no more air. The same air
When
you just said.
When I put the lid on, the air is obviously inside a container.
No, but are you trapping more air?
Are you telling me that air inside a sealed Tupperware container is not in a container?
Yeah, if you trap more, because remember you've got to pressurize the air
I
to weigh
did
it.
not say trap more air in there. I said simply put the lid on.
Yeah,
are you claiming that the
put
air
the lid
inside?
on.
Are you claiming that the air inside the Tupperware container with the lid on is not in a container?
Yeah, but it's not sealed, right?
It is sealed. I told you it's a sealed.
No, what I mean is you're not trapping the air, are you? You're just putting
Yes,
the lid on.
I am. That's the
Then
whole
you'll be able
point
to
of a
weigh it.
sealed Tupperware container.
Yeah, then you'll be able to weigh it. If you're trapping the air and applying more air, then yes, you can weigh it.
So we'll ask the question again. Will the container with the lid on it weigh more, less, or the same?
Again, you're just going to weigh the container, not the air, unless you trap it.
But when I have the container sealed, the air inside should have weight, shouldn't it? Shouldn't it weigh more? Because it didn't have weight, apparently, according to your paradigm.
You're confusing this
when
with
it
the
was
argument.
an open container in the room. No, I'm not confusing the argument
You
at
are.
all. You're telling me that I'm sitting here in a room and the air around me has no weight.
No.
Then I've put an open Tupperware container on a scale. It's exposed to the same air that's around me in the room, and you're telling me that that air has no weight. And now you're telling me that if I put a lid on the container and that the air's inside a container, contained by that container, it somehow now has weight and I can weigh it.
Yeah,
shouldn't that mean that that Tupperware container with the lid on it should weigh more on the scales?
Yeah, if you're trapping the air, you're going to weigh the air. Yes, if you've got more air in the container than it's supposed to be, then yeah, you will be able
That's
to weigh
not what I said. Why are you straw manning me?
I'm saying if it's not that, then no, you won't be able to weigh it.
But doesn't it have weight? Because you told me that when you have it in a container, it has weight.
No, I'm saying you can only weigh air in a container.
Well, it is. It's in a container.
Yeah, but again, if the air's if it's not enough air, too light, how can you weigh it? It needs to be more dense, doesn't it?
You told me that I have to have the air in a container. You told me that the air around me has no weight.
You're not listening. So if you collect the
I
air...
am listening.
You're not listening.
I am listening.
You're
You clearly told me. I asked you a simple question. I said,
not letting me
does the
process
air
what you
around...
say, Paul.
Yeah, I said, I'll start again. I said, does the air around me when I'm sitting in this room have weight?
No.
Perhaps you can answer that for me again.
No.
Right, so you clearly said clearly said no, that it doesn't.
Doesn't have any weight.
Okay, so when I have that Tupperware container with the lid off of it, is that the same air that's around me right now in my room?
What are you talking about? You got the lid on off. You put it on the scales. You only weigh
I've got the lid off.
Okay, so what are you trying to weigh?
Is that air the same as the air that's around me right now?
Without the lid on, of course.
Then it has no weight, right?
My God, Paul. How are you going to weigh it unless you put the lid on?
Exactly, right? Now you're telling me that when I enclose that air in a container, it suddenly has weight and I can weigh it.
Yes.
Okay, so by that reasoning, when I put the lid on the container, it should weigh more because I've now got air with weight inside the container. More than when I had the lid off the container.
It depends how much air you've trapped.
I've trapped just the amount that is normally
How
inside
do you know
the
that?
container.
How do you know you've done that?
Because I've simply put the lid on the container. I didn't force any more air in there.
You don't have to. It's all moving around. You don't know what you've caught and what you haven't. You have to squeeze the lid and let the air out. Or you can let more air in. Did you increase the air? Did you remove air?
The same amount of air in the container as there was in there without the lid on.
Yeah, then you'll get no weight. If it's the same, then no. If it's not pressurized, then no. You're not going to weigh anything. If it's pressurized, then you'll weigh it.
Do you seriously not see the contradiction in your claims?
No. You need the container to weigh it.
Because you're claiming that the air only has weight when it's in a container. I've told you that I've put it inside a container, and yet you're telling me that it's going to weigh the same, as if the air had no weight. So does the air or does not the air have weight?
You've got to pressurize it to weigh it, Paul.
Oh, so now we've got an extra condition, have we? Now, not only do we have to put it in a container, we also have to pressurize it to weigh it.
That's the only way you're going to be able to weigh it, yeah. You've got to make the air more dense in the container to give you the pressure. The more it's pressing off the walls, the more it will give you a weight. That's why I was confused about what you were saying. You were going
what if there was... Okay, so now we're going to try something different, all right? So now we're going to take that scuba tank, all right? We're going to open up the valve and let all the air out, and we're going to leave that valve open. Is there going to be any air left inside that scuba tank?
You let the air out now.
There's not going to be any air in there.
If you've taken the air out.
I just said I opened the valve and let all the air. I'll let the air out.
Is there going
to be any air left in there? Is there going to be
all
any
the
air
out,
left?
Paul? No, there was no air. If you've let all the air out.
I said I opened the valve and let the air out.
Okay, did you let it all out?
Well, you can't let it all out.
Well, then there's still some in there then, right?
Right, there's still some in there. Yeah, okay. So it will reach an equilibrium, won't it?
So what will happen is well, no, you'll get the you'll have liquid at the bottom, become more dense. So you'll end up just pouring out a trickle.
Liquid what? Well, liquid. Where did this liquid come from?
That's what would be at the bottom. Have you opened up a container and had a look?
Spurs, you're failing school, mate. Come on, stick with the program.
Come on. Right, I've just got air in the tank, right, and I've just got the valve open.
Is it
so
pressurized?
It's going to reach equilibrium.
If it's pressurized,
it's going to reach.
Paul.
Will it be pressurized?
Then it won't.
Will it be pressurized? Will it be pressurized with the valve open?
Well, it's reduced. It'll be pressure. What is it? A density gradient there, reducing. A pressure density gradient. Yeah, it's reducing.
Will it be pressurized? Will it be pressurized with the valve open?
Yeah, until you hear that noise, you'll hear shh, and when that stops.
If I may interject, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, again, welcome.
And when it
I've been
stops
listening,
that
but
sound,
it's been fucking
when
shit at the moment, really.
When it stops that sound, Kimo, will it have equalized?
No, when that sound stops, you need to shake it because it can't reach. Gas at the bottom can't reach the top. But Jin, look, Jin wants to say something. Jin.
No, you're running away now, Kimo.
No, because you're asking me silly questions, Paul. It's very simple.
No, I'm not asking you silly questions. I'm asking you questions that you don't seem to be able to answer, because where we're going now is that we're going to take all the air out of that. We are going to create a vacuum inside that scuba tank, and we're going to weigh it.
No, they've been
what do you think will happen?
Questions for an hour.
Will it? Jin, why are you over talking me? Why are you over talking me, Jin? Right? Will it weigh less, more, or the same?
No, like he said, it's been an hour. I think Jin should be able to. I've been going for like an hour and a half now, so let's share. Like Kosher was saying about.
You did. You failed miserably, Kimo.
No, we can get back to it. I just don't want to hug
No,
the mic.
you open your mouth and you lie your ass off, and now you want to get out of it so
No,
quick.
you lunatics are failing miserably. You proved fuck all in an hour and a half, but just shit.
You only
That's all
think
it's
the
been at the
questions are
moment, a
silly
shit
because
show.
you think the
A
earth is
fucking
flat.
train wreck. Let's have some meat, potatoes, and vegetables. Give me my knife and fork. Fucking seatbelts. It's
Jin,
gonna go.
you don't
shit
even know how
even
to
further
cook,
now.
mate.
Are you ready?
You don't even know how to
Ready?
cook, mate.
Yeah, you want to learn how to fucking cook yourself. Talking about? I'll cook you into the fucking oven. You ass.
Give it your best shot.
Don't even go there. Don't even go there, man. You'd be embarrassed.
Give it your best shot.
And the woman that's on your team. Cook her into fucking infinity. Don't even go there. You're not fit enough to even come there, mate, let alone fucking cook.
Calm down, mate. Calm
down
down.
those roads.
Jesus.
You're hilarious.
Don't even go down those fucking
You
roads.
big
You've
girl's
got to be
blouse.
fit. It's not a fat lump. Right, you're the blouse of the girl. You better believe that one. You're the one with the girl's blouse.
Go on, what you got there, you old codger? Did I drop?
No,
because of the radiation.
He's like Kimo.
I did
He
a bit
doesn't
more
answer
research
questions.
on the levels and what would happen to human beings. I've got it for you. I did it before, and I posted it, and you never looked at it. I got it again. So when you're ready,
I looked at it. You did. It was good work.
are you ready? I did. I posted it before a few months ago. I posted it. Are you ready?
Yeah. Go for it.
Are you ready to hear? NASA proves flat Earth. Are you ready?
No, just get on with it. For fuck's
They're
sake.
not ready. Look at them. What are you scared of?
Boring me to
What are you
tears.
scared of?
That's what
Down
I'm
under.
scared
Down
of. You
under. You
boring.
mean over
Yeah,
there?
I'll be right back, mate. Got to get my dinner.
Over yonder, not down under.
Globe
There is no
team, are you
fucking
ready?
globe. They haven't proved
Black
it
team,
yet.
are you
That's
ready?
why we're here.
La 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 la.
Fail miserably every time.
La 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 la.
Every day of the week, you're failing.
La 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 la.
No singing.
Lunatics.
Everyone gets.
You're lunatics. Yeah, you do the la la la. You need the la 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 because you know what I'm coming with is just too hot.
Bullshit. Yeah,
Tabasco and chili pepper mixed.
Hey,
I
Jin.
can't handle it. Yes.
Jin, on a triangle
See?
with the sides 3, 3, and
So what
3.
have you got for me? Are
some
you
of the
ready to
internal
hear
angles.
about NASA and how the ISS can't be up there? Are you ready?
No, I need to
Do you
answer a
want the
question
information?
first.
We're all
Still
ready.
saying, are you ready?
Would you hurry up and do it?
Do you want it?
Are you still saying, are you ready?
Jen,
What the
just
hell's going on, Jin?
Nah, they don't do that.
It's not a show.
They don't want it. Look at that.
I guess I've got time to
Yay.
go get another beer then.
Coach, we're just having a bit of fun before all the seriousness of dividing the tables and all that kind of stuff happens.
Look at it. Shit.
Somewhere.
Fucking shit. They're fucking
Like
idiots.
somewhere outside. That's great. This isn't fun when you just come in here and just ask
Yeah,
for
when you
stuff,
come in
right?
and interrupt the conversation just to say that it's shit and then don't offer anything as an alternative, that's what's shit, Jin.
Hey, Jin, on a
Well, I
triangle
was
with the
getting
sides 3, 3,
hammered,
and 3.
it's good to have
what
a
is the
flat
sides
earther
internal
come in
angles?
and rescue one another when you guys are just attacking for no good reason, right? We were just talking about very simple things. And
Yeah, well, we were discussing how we were discussing how air simultaneously has and hasn't got weight at the same time, weren't we, Kimo?
Yeah, but you were holding my toes to the fire, and I'm just saying the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, we were,
Yeah.
because you didn't have any answers or any sensible answers to any of the questions.
Trying to get you to understand it, Spurs, but you've got this block, you've got this inability.
Now, I could do this all day,
you're
but because there are
you're
other people
closed-minded.
here, I could do this all day, like I say.
Do you remember that conversation? No,
But
no, I'm not
unlike
saying it's
Veach,
irrelevant.
who just
Remember
wants
that
to take it
conversation
one-on-one
we had the other
personally
day?
all day long, I'm saying we've got other flatties here. If they want to get involved, then they should be able to.
Yeah.
Because you can't answer questions.
No,
you
I can
need
do this
help.
all day
You
long,
understand
hands
totally,
behind the
Kimo.
back, eyes
It's okay.
closed.
Call on your little mateys.
You're so contradictory right now, dude. It's crazy because I just asked Jin to continue and
What did I say?
getting on with, and your criticism was that the conversation was supposed to be fun and you want to get back to what you're getting to, or get back to what you guys were talking about, and then when we get there, you just
I go back to Jin because I'm not sure if Jin is just looking for something as you know, we don't know what the position is yet.
Got his evidence or something, that'd be great to see, because if NASA's honestly proved the flat Earth, that's like the biggest twist of it all. So that'd be awesome to see.
I mean, we can go up ball earthers all day long, Kosher. I mean, from top to bottom, from the surface that has zero curvature, up to 50 miles where we have clouds. Above that, we've got the Karman line. Then above that, you're supposed to have a vacuum.
Above that, we've got Kimo boring the world to death.
So, you know, we can do this for...
Can I say that out loud? Sorry.
But,
Not sorry.
It is nice for everyone to get involved, Kosher. I know you don't like the big mesh.
Kimo, I'm not sure how what you're saying right now is relevant to anything that's actually happening, because I was very excited that Jin was participating, and
He's
I was
gone.
hoping he would show the evidence. So I'm not
I was
sure
excited. I thought he was going to show something from NASA as well. I was like, ooh, let's do it. He's probably just looking for it.
Great assumption, but
No, he's run away. Run away. He has turned tail and scooted because he had total bullshit. That's all he had, and that's all you've got too, Kimo. So now go back to your conversation you were having before. Now Jin interrupted and pissed off. Kimo?
Oh, go for it.
I mean, again, I can't see where Paul's going with this. Cannot weigh the atmosphere without the atmosphere required.
We were playing you nicely, because at some points you're claiming that air has weight, and then at other points you're claiming that air doesn't have weight. So how can it have weight in one situation but not have weight in another situation? That's ridiculous. That's like saying that this 1 kilogram mass weighs a kilogram over here, but not a kilogram over here.
Nah, because you've got the air outside moving freely. That's the word here, freely. So it's not hitting off anything. And in a container, it has nowhere to go. It just
Does hitting something change its mass?
Change its mass? No, it just goes in the opposite direction.
Does hitting something change its mass?
No, Paul.
Well, sure. Then the walls hitting the molecules don't change their mass.
They just change the direction.
Yeah, they don't change the mass, do they? So the walls don't give the air mass.
No, the walls create the pressure to give you your reading, to give you how much weight there is.
It's actually the other way around. The molecules hitting the wall create the pressure.
Yeah, that's where the pressure comes from, the walls. And
No,
it
comes from the molecules.
All you're doing is measuring how much pressure is being applied to the walls, and then you work it out in weight.
Oh, so the pressure's being applied to the walls now. What is applying the pressure to those walls?
The force that was originally inserted into the container, and then obviously that was an action, and obviously that will continue. But because like a spray can, let's look at a spray can. You know, like sometimes when you've got...
You're asking the straws now, because the simple question was, you claimed that the pressure was exerted on those walls. What exerts the pressure on those walls?
Well, again, it's the gases that press on the wall.
Oh, so it is the gas that creates the pressure, not the walls.
No, it's the pressing on the walls that creates the pressure. You don't have pressure in mid-air.
It's the gas molecules hitting the wall that create the pressure.
Bear in mind,
right?
I don't agree that there are molecules bouncing around. We're just allowing this for sake of argument, because we've never seen gas in bouncing balls form. We just assume that's the case. But just for the sake, we can go along.
What's your assumption then? What's your assumption?
It's just like water that you can't. If you look through a special imaging camera, you can see it. It's not a big deal. It's not like a mystery. It's that we were never shown the invisible gases.
What do you mean a special? What do you mean by a special imaging camera?
I mean, gas is supposed to be a bouncing ball. We've never ever seen a bouncing ball gas ever, never. That's the assumption.
Not a criterion. That's not a criterion for measuring the reality of something.
Yeah, because you assume that the balls are bouncing here and everywhere. But if we look
not seeing something is not a measure of its reality.
Yeah, so all you're doing is measuring the pressure, not seeing the action, yeah? You can't say what's pressing. You don't know what's pressing against the walls. There is a pressure. You don't know what it is until you look through a special imaging camera, and then you can see that it moves like water. You just can't see it. So because you can't see it, they were able to trick you and say, well, the public can't see it, we're going to call it this, that, and the other. And they did. So for years, you've been saying, oh, it's molecules bouncing around. And it's like, well, hold on, is it? Never seen it.
Water made of molecules.
Again, you keep saying all of this. Let's have a look at what you're talking about.
Again, you keep on saying that it isn't.
Yeah, I'm saying if you looked at the gases, so-called, through...
Schlieren?
Schlieren, that's the one.
Sure. And all it does is show the density differences. That's what it shows.
It shows the water moving around.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It shows density differences in the gas.
Don't see bouncing balls, that's for sure.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. That's right.
But that's not a criterion for determining the existence or non-existence of gas atoms.
There's no such thing as gas.
Oh, so now we're saying that there's no such thing as gas.
Yeah, what is gas?
Like,
See, this is why I didn't want to go down that path.
expect
That's
to
why
see
I'm just
bouncing
accepting.
balls
I'm
in
just
the first
accepting the fact
place?
that you say they're bouncing balls. Fine, let's just go on with it. Bouncing balls in your thing, bouncing. That just makes the conversation a lot easier for you, right? Instead of me saying to you, show me gas, when we all know that it's just liquid, it's just fluid, water moving around, you can't see it. But...
Well, it's called the kinetic theory of matter, all right? It's called the kinetic theory. Why? Because it can be explained. The properties of most things like this can be explained in terms of these bouncing balls, right? Sure, it's just a description for how things work. Okay?
Concession. At last.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a concession. That's the reality. That's what we say. And it explains it very nicely. So now, if you think that it's not bouncing balls, then it's your job to provide another explanation.
Well, we have actually, because you know, like I said, I brought this to the table. Right, the hand has looked into this very, very well. Now, obviously, if he was allowed here, he could explain it a lot. Because to me, that's like the numbers side, which I can't be bothered with. I'm more about the practical side. But if you want all of that, there are flat earthers who have looked.
He thinks that it's ropes.
What?
Keep it together. Invisible ropes.
There you go. You see. So these people have looked.
You agree with that? That's what air is. Invisible ropes.
I'm not making those. I'm just saying what I see, and what we see when we look at it, we don't see bouncing balls. We just see water just flowing around, just like.
No, we don't. We don't see water.
We don't see that.
We just see liquid.
What are you talking about?
I don't see water, and I don't see liquid.
It acts the same way as when we see water.
I'm sitting here in my room right now, inhaling the gas that's around me so that I can survive, and I don't see liquid or water.
No, you can't.
So stop saying that we see water and we see liquid when I don't.
No, that's invisible. You need that Schlieren imaging, that special imaging.
Why are you claiming that we can see it?
I've just said you need special imaging to see it.
And I've told you that
he's never once said he could see it. He's never once claimed that you could see it. He never claimed that. He never claimed that.
And I'm telling you that kind of photography doesn't image the water. It images the density differences in the air.
I'm telling you what we see, what it looks like. What it looks like what we see when we see water.
But it's not water, is it?
Well, what is it then? Not bouncing balls.
I told you, it's density differences in the air.
Kimo, just step back a minute. Kimo, step back a minute, because this is just boring. It's utter boring, Kimo.
Okay.
It's just shit. It's going nowhere, Kimo. All right? You're far too intelligent for them. They're
He
lunatics.
just doesn't get it. That's
Oh,
what's
that
going
doesn't
on.
seem like it. Doesn't seem like it.
Hilarious.
Crap. So step back just for a second and we get in there.
Kimo doesn't
I want to rock their
understand.
fucking
Let somebody
foundation,
stupid
all right?
talk like Jin.
I want to rock them.
Now, guys, hold on, Jin.
shit,
Before
and
you
I'm not
do,
even gonna
but
bother with
Jin,
that.
one sec.
We're not
So,
bothering
Jin,
that,
hold on,
guys.
Jin,
Change
Jin,
the
hold on a sec.
direction.
One sec.
ISS.
One sec.
Can't
One
be up
sec.
there.
Just a quick sec. The Kosho, do you notice how when me and Paul were talking, okay, there wasn't a need to change rooms. There wasn't loads of people jumping all over everybody. So when Jin is going to speak now, what's the difference when he gets abused, attacked, and let's see how, you know, if anything needs to be altered. He's already been muted.
Let's see if Jin can contain himself and not talk over anyone.
Okay, there you go, Jin. The floor's yours.
Jin came straight in and jumped all over you and Paul.
It's entirely on Jin how the conversation works out, mate.
Yeah, that's right.
Interject. May I interject? Because that's what happens. You don't offer the fucking conversation. You just talk shit, and then we have to jump all over you. So let's have some decorum. What do you have to say? Fuck him out and do it properly.
This is how it starts. This is how it starts.
That's correct. This is how it starts. Because you don't know how to conduct a conversation. Jin, welcome to the server, Jin. Right. What have you got for us today? You ain't got any of that manners. You're a bunch of lunatics, I said.
Hang on.
You spent, hang on. See, and then when I'm talking for like about a minute, you can't even listen to me for a minute. You have to jump in. I may have to say something that takes 3 minutes to explain. 3 minutes, but you can't even bear that. That's why we end up shouting. So if you want some cordial, let's try. Let's see if you can do it.
All right, so you came in before, Jin, and you kept saying, "Are you ready?" for a good 10 minutes, and you never said anything in the end.
Yeah, it was about 10 minutes.
And he's not going to say anything now either. He's just interrupting for the sake of causing a disturbance.
Are you ready?
You see,
Are
it's
you
pointless,
ready?
Jin. You provoke people, and then you blame them for getting upset with you.
Are you ready?
Are you
ready
for the meeting? Yes, sir.
Whatever. Christ.
We're all ready, man.
No, you're just doing it deliberately, Jin. You're just being an idiot.
Are you ready? Are you ready? All I need to hear is yes, we're ready.
We are ready.
We've said yes a dozen times.
Yeah, I just got
yes.
Yeah.
Come on,
You
he's
said yes
hyping
half
it
an
up
hour
for you
ago.
guys. He's hyping it
I've
up.
only heard it once. I only heard it
So
once.
you heard it
Are you
once.
ready? You ready?
Okay,
Yes
so
or
you
no?
heard it once. You heard it once.
All right,
Go.
you can mute him if he says ready again.
No, I'm just showing how much of an idiot.
Or we can mute you,
he is.
Mike, for
Hopefully, Kimo
interrupting.
will see how much
Go on,
of an
Jim.
idiot he is.
I'm gonna ask a few questions. I'm gonna ask. Here we go. Look, here we go. I'm gonna ask a few questions, and we'll see how you get on. Okay. Now,
Look, you were going to
how
show
is
us
it-
something.
No, hang on, guys. Let him ask a
I'm
question. He
gonna
wants
ask
to
you a
ask a
few
question.
questions. How
Well, Jim,
is it?
before you do, are you going to ask them all at once, or are you going to give us a chance to respond to them one at a time?
I'm not going to answer that question. That's a waste of time. Here we go.
For fuck's sake.
Now, the ISS. At what altitude is it at again?
No, don't answer. No one answer. We're not supposed to
Come on,
answer.
be fair, was.
Well, I am.
No.
Waz
playing
didn't
by his rules.
He didn't tell us.
Keep going. Ask all your questions.
When you're ready.
See, now this
Tell
is
us
this
what
is
we
part
can
of the
answer.
problem
At
here.
one time,
Is why
one question at one time. Are you ready? I've asked the question. What's your answer?
6.
What is your answer?
Answer
So,
is
can you
6.
repeat the question, please?
Bananas.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Lunatics didn't hear the question. Yeah. All right. Well, get some Q-tips. Clean out your eardrums because it seems to be
You
packed
see,
up with
you
wax.
see,
That's not a
Here we
question.
go.
That's an insult.
you
I'm
see,
making a
and you
point 'cause I
wonder
said
why
it
you
loud
get the
enough.
shit.
I said it loud enough, but you didn't get it. Here we go.
It's 250,000 miles.
What is the altitude of the ISS at the moment? If it's up there. If it's up
about-
there.
Isn't it about 450 kilometers? Something like that?
Does anybody
usually it's about 410, 415.
251 miles. Okay.
Yeah.
It's actually 251.
Depends on
Have
whether
you
it's
asked this question every day? Are you guys?
I mean, the height depends on the amount of
Have you
drag
finished?
it's in. So sometimes it's over
Have you
400K.
finished? Have you given me your answer?
It's
Have you given me your answer?
slightly less than 400K, but yeah, pretty good average number to use.
Jin, has anybody ever given you a different answer when you ask this question repeatedly?
400,000 kilometers.
I get all kinds of answers. Yes. The answer is yes. Yes. Yes.
All right. We did good, guys.
Right, just get to the main question, will you? Don't worry about all these little faffy ones.
We're taking it. We're going to take it step by step, so there's no mistakes.
Why?
Okay. Next. At what speed is it operating at if it's up there?
17,000 miles.
Measured at 17,500 by people.
Next question, please.
Right now, what is the said Van Allen radiation belt? What is the said level of in REMS?
Whereabouts in the Van Allen radiation belts?
There's the question. Through the belts. What is the radiation?
Which Van Allen belts? There are more than one of them.
Can you clarify the question, please?
And I'm not going to answer your stupid question. Answer the question.
It's not a stupid question. For us to answer your question, I'll say it again. I'll say it again. I'll start again, seeing as you interrupted.
I did say belts. Don't waste bucket time. What you get when you waste bucket time.
I'll keep on trying to answer your question, if you let me. For us to answer that question, you have to specify which belt, because obviously if there's more than one belt, then it's going to be more than one value for the radiation, isn't there?
They're both the belts.
And they have different levels of radiation. So which one are you talking about, Jim?
Talking about both belts, the radiation belts, the both of them. What are the radiation levels?
At what altitude?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Well, then we can't
answer. We can't answer because then we can't.
The Van Allen radiation belts extend from 247 miles. 247 miles. Got that mistake there. 247 miles and extend to 60,000 miles, according to James Van Allen, the guy who discovered it. NASA would have us believe. Can I finish now?
No.
NASA would have us believe it's 20,000 miles. I'm going to go with the James Van Allen, right? So you've got two belts, they extend. I want to know, you see, you can't answer the question. I'll answer it.
We can. We're just waiting for you to shut up so that we can.
2,500 rems. It's
that would depend. Well, that would depend on where. That would depend on where in the Van Allen belts you measure the radiation, wouldn't it?
That's down to you to work out. Yeah, you go work that out. Go work that out for yourself. The horse's mouth. From the horse's mouth, it's 2,500 rems.
You're going to show us something that was irrefutable, and all you've done is crap on.
Are you aware there is a third radiation belt? Are you aware of that?
Who gives a crap? Who cares?
You're aware of that?
And also, Jen, just please try to present this like a normal.
Are you aware of it? You're not answering the question, you're not listening.
Jen.
Yes, we are aware of it.
You're washed up. Are you aware there's a third one?
I've already fucking answered it. Yes, we are aware. Ask me again. Ask me again. Am I aware of it?
Are you aware?
Yes, I am. Now ask me again. Ask me again. Yes, I am. Ask me again.
Are you aware? Are you aware?
Fucking idiot.
Guys, listen.
Jin, you're being silly. He just said yes, and then you asked him again. And then he said yes, and then you asked him again. Why are you being so silly?
Yeah.
Next question.
Mind of a goddamn child.
Jin, I agree, man. Listen, I don't want these guys to shout at you either. But then again, I kind of want to shout at you myself. So if you just present this like a normal person, they can probably answer you just like a normal person. And I promise
get
you,
to
this
the
will probably
point.
just go a lot smoother.
Yeah, Jim, just
Yeah.
get to the point, mate. Might be easy instead of asking all these stupid
Objection.
questions.
My client Jen is not a normal person. It's absolutely unreasonable for you people to expect him to behave
Waiting for
reasonably.
your answer.
Thank you.
That's all.
It's a good point. You got a good attorney there, Jen.
You don't want to go in the direction. You want to.
I
carry on
accept
living
the
in your
council's
delusional world
retort.
of a cesspit of shit. That's why a white knight comes in, a flat earther,
Calm
try to
down.
clean the place
Fuck's
up,
sake, Jin.
tidy you
Ask
guys
him
up.
Calm
a
down.
You're
Get
not
to your
listening.
point.
Blah, blah,
Are you
blah.
ready?
Get to your
Are
point.
you ready?
Just get to
Are
your
you
point.
ready? We're getting,
If he says it one more time,
we're
please
getting an
mute him.
understanding here.
One more time.
There you go. There you go. There you go. There
Jin, are
you
you ready?
to Dumbo?
I do promise you, though. Yeah, we're not gonna give him too much opportunities, but it'll probably be easier if we don't jump on him right away. He might go quicker because I want him to be done as fast as possible too.
No, it doesn't matter. He fluffs around whether you interrupt him or not.
That's fine. Let's try to hope for the best.
Go ahead, Jin. Just get to your point, mate. Ask your last and final question.
Of that. Are you?
Just get to the last question and ask that. Don't worry about asking the others. We can't hear you.
Well, I didn't hear anything. Are you? And if you are aware, how did it come to being, that third belt? How did it arrive? How?
What does it matter?
Tell him that again.
Demonstrate that you know that. That's all. You don't know?
I believe the third belt was Sammy Hagar when he arrived, replacing David Lee Roth.
I know.
You had Alex, Eddie, and then Sammy became the third Van Allen belt.
Hey, what about the bass player?
What was their number one hit, Kurt?
You never mention it unless I come in. When I come in, we mention
What's
it.
it matter?
When I'm not here and I'm listening, you guys never
No
mention it
offense
at
to
all.
Huey
Never
or
comes
Matt.
up with your lips.
No offense whatsoever. But he
the
wasn't just a
undiscovered
bass player. It
The
doesn't matter.
undiscovered belt.
So
what's
why?
the third?
I wonder
what's
why.
the-
Because you didn't know it, or you
What's
try to hide
the
it.
third
One or
belt
the
called,
other.
Jin? What's the third belt called, Jin? Jin, what's the third belt called, mate?
In that
Guns N'
third
Roses
belt
belt?
is 100 times more lethal, 100 times more lethal than the current Van Allen radiation belts up there now. Right? And that happened in 1962. Yes, levels would slowly dissipate. At the moment, it's about 25% up there now. Times. I reduced it to 10 times because it's now 2020. Yeah? 10 times. That's up there. And if you times, that's 25,000 rems. It's actually more than that. I actually lowered that number. It's more than that. And then if you Google it and you see what happens at those levels, I can give you the information if you're ready for it. Would you like to see it? What happens?
So a dose of
Would you like
5
to see what
civets a
happens to a
year.
human being?
A dose of 5 civets a year to a human would be deadly. 25 civets is what an average satellite will actually experience as it passes through the multiple belts. The ISS is at about 300 kilometers above the Earth, which is within enough
No,
of
it's
the
not.
atmosphere.
It's more than that. It's 251 miles.
Yeah, which is about
And
320
253, which is
kilometers.
over 400 kilometers. So you got it
So-
right now.
This is on the side of the belts. I don't get why it's a problem.
It's
So-
very important that
The
you
problem
not
is
be
the radiation belt.
Up to about 1,000 kilometers.
Your basic facts straight. Basic facts.
Let's get this.
Don't let
let's
Jin
get this
show
correct here,
you up.
guys.
Now keep in mind, Jin is a
ISS.
liar of honor and integrity, and he needs to be
got
treated
it.
as such.
Thank you. Now, the ISS is 251 miles up. So it's in the radiation zone, a zone at which they were up there, they would be dead because the radiation
No,
zone they're
because
in.
most of the radiation is absorbed by the material around the ISS, because most of the radiation is not gamma.
ISS,
and the
man.
second part is the fact that the ISS is close enough to the Earth, for the Earth's atmosphere, to actually absorb an awful lot of that radiation as well.
You've got no
Which is
radiation
why between the
protection at all.
600
It's not even
to
mentioned.
1,000 kilometers,
Why don't you
we
Google
don't
it and
have
find
much of a
out?
problem.
This radiation he's talking about from the third belt, this dangerous shit, it's outside it separates the outer shell. I mean, the outer belt. So I don't know what he's talking about. It has nothing to do with the ISS.
But he said that everybody on the ISS will be dead, and I was pointing out why they're not.
Yeah, I know, but it's not real. That's what I'm saying. It's not relevant.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you why they would be.
Yeah, why'd you bring up the third belt then, man?
Actually,
It's in that belt. Belts. The ISS is in that belt. That's why.
Third belt.
No.
That's why. The ISS is operating in that zone now.
Yeah, it's not. The outer belt.
If it is
the outer
there,
belt, much higher
they say
belt.
it is, which I know it's not. It's impossible. But
Right, the outer belt.
You guys
is,
are loonies, so you believe that. If it's there, according to NASA, that's where it is. It's
All right,
in
go ahead
that
and
zone.
post your evidence. I'll post mine, Jen. But when I post mine, I want you to shut up about this, okay?
Even if it's in that belt, who says the astronauts are getting that much of it?
Can you speak a little bit more clearer and a little bit slower so we know what you're saying? Gone. Didn't catch
anyone
anything.
else?
Remember, there's
did
a lag on
anyone
this thing as well.
I heard you,
so
was,
take
and
your
I
time.
understood
Did
you fully.
anyone else
loudly, and I
not
can
hear
get
what
you.
I said?
I heard you, but obviously Jin was too eager to talk more to actually bother to listen. So that would be, I'd say, problem. So why didn't you restate it again, was?
So even if the ISS is in that belt, who says the astronauts are being exposed to that much radiation? I'm giving you the benefit of a very big doubt here.
Well, I'm glad you're giving me a big doubt, but
No, I'm giving you a big benefit.
you're saying I've missed everything you've said, so I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, fucking hell.
It's all right. Just basically, you're a liar. It's easy.
Can someone else get it across to him? Maybe he doesn't understand Australian
That's what
English.
you are. You're a liar. Every day you live a lie. You're wrong on. You wake up wrong. You brush your teeth wrong. You eat your dinner wrong. You go to the toilet fucking wrong. You will die wrong.
How's
That's
it been
what's
going?
going to happen because you're a wrong un. So shut up.
Okay. Jin, I'm gonna ask you a quick question. Where did you get these figures
You're
for
the liar.
the
You're
amount of
living a
rate?
lie. Everything about you is a lie.
Gene,
Jin,
Close you wear are
excuse me.
lying. Fuck.
Can you hear me?
Crazy people. Are you ready to look at some documents? Are you ready to look at some documents? Since you can't talk the truth, why don't you read the truth instead? Yeah?
Gene,
Stop
stop flapping your gums. Stop flapping your gums for a minute. Someone's trying to ask you a question, mate.
Well, Jin, I'm going to ask you this. Where did you get the numbers for the radiation in the belt?
Right, the radiations in the belt. I sent the documents yesterday. I posted them, and they're there.
Where did you get them from?
Did you hear the question, mate?
On the internet, of course. NASA's internet. Thank
Now
you.
that is a hurling the
NASA's website.
I'm about to post them again.
That
if you
is
want them.
indeed a hurling the elephant fallacy.
Yeah, exactly. But Jin, here's the question though. So did you read where that maximum radiation was and which path they took to go through the belts? Did you look into that at all?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Jin, when you looked into the belts, did they look back at you?
Also, did you take these measurements yourself? Because if you didn't, you're invalid.
We know he's an invalid.
When you start asking actual questions, it's amazing how quickly they shut up, isn't it?
Where's he gone? What? Why is he not responding?
Get the coconut
because he's busy posting bollocks.
So Robin,
I mean, again, you guys, the very fact that we entertain this length or this much, you should be appreciative, because half of these things are not even the Van Allen. What is the Van Allen belt? Has anyone ever seen it? Anyone ever been there?
Kimo. Yeah. He didn't answer the question at all.
No, but I'm saying that you should be
massive
grateful
lag going on, so I
that
can't
we
hear
even
you.
go that far.
Communication issues. Can you hear me?
We hear you now, Jim.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Can you hear us though?
Jim, you've gone again.
No, it's,
I think he's rebooting.
They should have got that.
He had a
Have a
piece
look
on.
at this fucking thing now. Look at it. Look at this thing.
Now we hear you.
Jin, do you want to come back when your comms issues are sorted? Because we can't have any kind of conversation with you.
Oh, you've got your excuses straight.
Wait, hang on. Well, so Facebook, NASA research papers admit flat and non-rotating, so that's not NASA. And yeah, that's not from NASA. None of these say NASA.gov.
Yeah, Facebook, Galley something, and Metabunk.
Even if they were from NASA, I thought NASA can't be trusted.
No, but the best thing is that Metabunks at the bottom, and it actually debunks the claim he's trying to assert.
He didn't get that far. First 2-3 articles tops, as far as they go.
Oh, only 2,500 rems. Oh, whoops.
25 sieverts.
No, you see, you got that wrong. That's in the radiation belt. But the third zone is times 10. You got a times 10.
Yeah,
it's actually
but
25.
no, but Jin, hold your horses.
Actually,
how long do you have to
25.
be in there for it to actually be lethal?
Watch. I'm going to send you the rest of the information coming to you.
No, answer the question. Stop posting shit.
Hang on.
If you've read it, you know it.
Just listen. You've asked me, so I'm not going to answer your fucking question. So shut the fuck up. Let me answer you.
But it says per year.
They were going through the fucking belts. They were going through the fucking belts. It took them 4 hours to go through, 4 hours to come back. That's 8 hours. Plus they were on the moon for 3 days on some of these missions. So they would have been exposed to 960 rems on the bloody moon. So they would have been well into too much radiation in space.
So the Van Allen belt encompass the moon as well now.
I didn't know that.
Well, at least Jin finally admits the ISS.
Yeah.
The 960 REMS is based upon a solar event that happened between the last 2 Apollo missions.
Well, it's still dangerous, isn't it? It still happened, and the
Yeah, but it was
experts
not
say
960
it would have been
REMS,
impossible.
that was an event
The
that happened
experts
between.
in the field.
For anybody that's interested, I've actually put down an academic article on
The
the
experts
third
in the field
Van
say
Allen
they would
belt
the photography
and studies done into it. Jim, someone's in the middle of a story. So
would have been
So
destroyed.
if actually people want to go and look at the actual
photography
data,
this-
that's Jane. Can you hear that someone's talking? 1 second, mate. So that's an academic article from Lancaster University, and it's looking at the Van Allen belt and the radiation around it, and how it operates, and where you get those dosages. And I'll just put that again after Jin's re-spamming of the that. So what we can see is the majority of that radiation is alpha. That will be happily shielded with minimal effort. And yeah, I think you're onto a non-story here, mate.
And the
You're really
ISS
not
doesn't.
reading.
And the ISS doesn't even pass through the Van Allen belts.
You're really not reading what you posted, Jin, are you?
The ISS doesn't go high enough to go because they need shielding, and NASA have already told us that they don't have the technology to pass through the dangerous radiation to get to,
No, they do.
to the moon.
They do have that technology. What they had a problem with chemo, which again you're straw man in the argument, was the electronics. The electronics were more the problem with the humans.
Exactly.
And the reason for that is because of the density of transistors, which means that a cosmic particle hitting one of those transistors can knock it out. That can have a serious effect on your CPU.
Yeah,
hence, they were worried about it. Hence, the HP have been working with NASA, sending kit into space to see how shielded and unshielded systems react in a test environment.
And not only that, you have to remember that every pound of matter you take into space costs 120 pounds in fuel. So the second research is how can you get the lightest, most effective shielding? So it's lightness as well as effectiveness.
No, well, Michael, you see, if they pass through this radiation, the technology will fry. The people going through it will be sick, and there's nothing to protect them going to the moon. So that's why they don't.
Nice assertions there, Kimo. Do you know that for a fact?
Yeah, NASA put out information that they...
No, hold on. Do you know that for a fact? Not what NASA says. Do you? Have you been there to test it?
Have I? No, of course, that's dangerous radiation.
Right then, stop. Right then, stop.
NASA said it's dangerous radiation. I'm not going to go there. We
No,
don't have the
because
shielding
you
for
say
it.
we have to go out and test this, and you haven't done it.
Because
So
NASA say
you
it's
failed.
dangerous radiation.
Kimo, why is it, and doesn't it bother you, that whenever it goes against your narrative, NASA and the experts in the field can't be trusted, but when it can be twisted to agree with your narrative, suddenly NASA and the experts are completely correct, and we should trust them? Doesn't that bother you? That you're so fickle like that?
No, because of the way things are, you have to be able to discern.
Because you're a dishonest liar, Kimo.
It may look like that, but again, if there's an investigation, you've got to look at what
No,
NASA
it doesn't
say.
look like that. That's how it is.
Got to look at what NASA say.
You don't trust them with the pictures they take. You don't trust them that they have an ISS floating up there. You don't trust them that we've been to the moon, but you trust them on all this other shit.
Okay,
How
Apollo.
do you sleep at night knowing that you're this dishonest?
Well, listen to this. Apollo took about an hour to pass through the worst part of the radiation belt. The total
According to who,
radiation
Kimo?
dose
According to who?
was about 1 rem.
According to who?
This is what NASA say.
Who cares what NASA says? They can't be trusted. They're all liars.
That's the point. Everything they're telling us is a lie.
Well,
hang on. Did you say one? Did you say? Hey, whoa. Wait, did you say 1 rem? Have you ever been inside a CT scanner?
No.
Okay, so shut the fuck up.
You ever been on an aeroplane?
It's not about me.
Oh, see, now you know he's failed because he goes to the it's not about me. No, these are questions for you, not about you. Okay, question is, have you seen a CT scanner? Have you been in a CT scanner? And do you wonder why they wear lead fucking aprons?
No. NASA says shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the wave of radiation. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space. That's from NASA, from Kelly Smith.
Yes. And you know why, Kimo? Because if the spacecraft fails, the fucking astronauts die. You dipshit.
Exactly. So we don't have the protection like in 1969, 1970. They were more advanced.
They were
more
analog
advanced
systems.
in
They
the past than they
were
are
not
today.
digital systems. Number one, they were analog systems, not digital systems, so they wouldn't be affected by the radiation.
Yeah.
Number two, and as I stated previously, what they're looking for is not only effective shielding, radiation shielding. They're also looking at weight considerations.
Yeah.
So that takes a lot of experimentation. You know, shit that you have got no clue about.
No. Again, what you
Is
need.
that simple enough explanation for you? Or do you want me to make it simpler?
No, I'm trying to explain. What you've got to understand is that they've lied about everything, NASA. And I mean, we mean everything.
Well, except the stuff that you say they didn't lie about.
Well, no.
If they lie about everything, Kimo, shut the fuck up about NASA, because like you can't cite them if they lie about everything.
No, because NASA officials recently stated that the Van Allen belt that surrounds the Earth prevents the possibility of humans traveling to the moon. It limits us only to space exploration. They further stated that
according to you, that's a lie. So why are you bringing it up?
Don't interrupt when the truth's being told. Shut up.
They further stated
Carry
that
on.
we've yet to build a spacecraft that can shield the astronauts from heavy, dangerous radiation. If this is now the case, how is it that they claimed that we first visited the moon 50 years ago? The contradiction exists because everything we've learned is a lie, basically. So how do you
But Kimo, quick question. So how do you know what they just said in your statement that you just read out isn't a lie?
About what?
That they can't recreate the technology. How do you know?
Because
that's
it's coming
not a
from
lie?
the horse's mouth. It's coming from
No,
their
I'm
mouth.
asking him, not you.
I'm telling you. I'm telling
Jim,
you.
shut up.
Shut up.
This is directly at Kimo, okay? How do you know what they've said in that statement isn't a lie when you say all the other statements they make are a lie?
Was it
Okay, do you guys know astronaut Gus Grimson?
Question. Don't answer it. It's a straw man.
Does anyone know Gus Grimson? So Gruss.
Yeah, Gus Grimson.
Let me
yeah.
say, Kosho, don't spoil it for me. So Gruss,
His name
don't
wrong,
spoil
Kimo.
it for me. So Gruss Grimson said,
Grissom.
Gruss Grimson said, how are we going to get to the moon if we can't talk between two buildings? And then 2 weeks later they killed him.
I'm going to bring up what Jin just answered a second ago. Run away from it.
Where's the backup on that one, Kimo?
Aha, you see, we do, that's research.
Kimo,
you see?
you done good, Kimo, you done good.
No,
You disrespecting. No, stop. This is disrespect to the men that lost their lives trying to get to the fucking moon.
You can't get to the moon.
Shut up.
Can't get to the moon, Davros. Pause. We don't know what the moon is for a start. It's just a light as far as we're concerned.
Yeah, but this came from the horse's mouth that the astronauts went up there, 50 years ago, and the horse's mouth. I mean, we
Horse's
believe
mouth.
the horse's mouth.
Correct. All of it's coming from the horse's mouth.
Exactly. All of it
It's
came
all
from the
bullshit
horse's
anyway.
mouth,
It's
so
their
I don't know why
story.
we're talking
It's
about
their
it.
story. It's not the flat Earth story. Fucking hell, you're listening. Are you listening? It is
That's
not
what
from
it
the
was
flat
a
Earth.
story.
It's your story. Your
Our
people's
story.
story. It's your people's story.
The horse's mouth said that.
Not the flat Earth story.
What did they say,
It's not
Kosho?
flat Earthers.
What did he say,
We're relaying your story so you can make sense of your own fucking story.
Kosho,
The
what-
anomalies are unbelievable. Thank you.
What I just quoted, Kosho, is that what you're saying?
No, earlier, you guys were talking about what is happening now. No, you read it a second ago about the radiation belt. And,
Yeah.
it's dangerous to go in there and this and that.
Yeah.
And and so Jin's saying it's coming straight from the horse's mouth when he was asked why do you believe it, and the same horse, right, the same mouse told everybody that we went to the moon 50 years ago.
No, Kosho, come on.
Liars, aren't they?
No, hold on, Jim.
Well, liars.
Hold on. No, but NASA are not lying now, are they? Because Buzz said we didn't go there. He told us we didn't go there. What do you mean? The astronauts today.
No, he didn't. And if you watch the...
Can I finish my point, please? Kosho, why are you not helping me out here? Kosho, look.
That has been debunked, you little shit.
I just want to make a quick point. I'm not going to go on and on and on. Just some very quick points. I always make quick points. Now, another quick point, Kosho, is the astronauts that were asked to swear on the Bible, they didn't swear on the Bible. So we've got Buzz saying we didn't go there, and we've got the Bible non-swearers.
So the horse's mouth,
got
though,
to do with anything?
the mouth that we trust told us we didn't go. So what's the point of asking them? The horse's mouth told us they went.
Kosho, I'm saying the ones that...
Kimo, we asked you to swear on the Bible, and you wouldn't.
Kosho, I'm talking about the ones that were asked, did you go to the moon? And they said yes. And then we were like, okay, swear on the Bible. And then they said, no, I'm not going to swear on the Bible. That's how we know they didn't go.
Too.
Yeah, Timo, first of all, those astronauts aren't NASA, so they're irrelevant. Second of all, they probably realize that swearing on a bunch of fucking paper is meaningless.
No.
They asked a question and they answered it.
You wouldn't do that.
What
If
about
someone
the three
asked you to swear on
astronauts
the...
that did swear?
What?
What about the 3 astronauts that did swear on the Bible?
Which ones?
The 3 of them that they were interviewed.
Did they? Goodness
You don't
me,
know about
that's,
it?
yeah, that's a big deal. I didn't know that, no.
Well, watch the bloody bullshit video again.
Kimo, just out of curiosity, you were asked if you would swear on the Bible about your belief in flat Earth and stuff, and you said you wouldn't.
Not about me.
Did swear.
We
only need one.
We only need
I think there were 2 astronauts that actually swore on the Bible. There was 2 from the movie called "Astronauts Gone Wild" is the name of the documentary by Bart Simpson. He gets chinned by Buzz Aldrin, the wanker. He got chinned. He got kneed up the arse by another stupid cunt of a bloody astronaut. There was a couple of fucking line busters.
Yeah, Jeb's trying to say
because
I think I did hear Jeb. Was Jeb trying to speak? Yep.
Yeah, my point was that if this is significant, if this Bible swearing,
there you go.
Who's talking?
If this because he's an annoying cunt.
If this Bible swearing thing
fucking
is
music with these cunts.
Who's doing that?
For fuck's sake! If this Bible swearing thing is significant, you only need one of them to have sworn on the Bible to accept that the moon landings occurred, right?
Well, we don't know which one did it and when and how and what.
Because if you're saying that this is a significant thing, this is meaningful, whether people will or won't swear on the Bible, then if one did, and that's meaningful, then you have to accept that they went.
Well, again, we have to test his faith. Is he a Satanist who will just blaspheme anyway?
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Got to find out these things, right?
Well, then,
Yeah,
you would have to have found out all those things before you got them to swear on the Bible anyway, wouldn't you?
Yeah, why ask them to swear on the Bible?
You just say, well, we're not going to ask him because he's a Satanist.
That's some brilliant non-biased logic you got there, Kimo. Oh, the ones that didn't swear on a Bible, clearly that proves that they didn't go. But the ones that did swear on a Bible were lying, so that proves that they didn't go.
Trump here is holding the Bible upside down. So again, was it upside down? Was it inverted? There's always something mysterious and sinister going on. And
bullshit.
That's what Trump is doing right here.
And there are apparently it's not about you. It's not about you, but you do admit that you wouldn't swear on the Bible. You say it's not about you, but
it's not about me.
There's a valid reason for you to not swear on a Bible.
It's not about me.
There's a valid reason to you for not swearing on the Bible, right?
You asking me
the
about
only
me?
person I trust to swear on scripture is myself.
Oh, Kimo, Jem's point though, I think probably is where we should stick at, because without what he just said about the 3 dudes, I mean, if that's valid that the one guy does it, then it should be valid that any of those guys did it, and in which case there should be an issue that one guy didn't do it. So there doesn't seem to be a problem.
Percent was saying something, and he got over-talked.
I mean, past the point that finish this, but that's okay.
Yeah, I was just making a comment that the only person that I'll trust what they say after they swear on scripture is myself, or people that I know personally. But aside from that, and if I know them personally, I don't need them to swear on something to trust them.
I think that's fine to take that position, but if that's your position, then it's of no significance whether somebody will or won't swear on the Bible.
Because, Jem, what it... Go on, Percent, sorry.
You wouldn't... I mean, I haven't heard you, Percentage, present this as evidence, but...
Yeah, no, I'm disagreeing with Kimo on this one.
Yeah, that's fine, because the reason why I say this, it sets the moral standard, Jem. So if someone is lying and they put their hand on the Bible, then we know where that person is at, right?
That's why the Bible is immoral. Sorry,
you've got no
the Bible
moral.
is immoral.
You don't
Kimo.
know, do
You've
you?
got that
you
wrong.
don't know, because when they do that and you don't agree with what they're saying, you say, oh well, they're lying and they're a Satanist.
Well, that's how we
So
know.
so you don't. All right. So again, it's of no significance whether they do this or not. Then is it? Because you already know that that some are Satanists.
Yeah, we know they're part of.
The only possible result is that they either agree with you or they disagree with you and are dismissed as Satanists.
No, you've got to be honest, like the other ones. Don't put
Well,
your
that
hands on.
isn't honest. How can that possibly be a logical approach to this?
Because we need a moral basis for this, which is the Bible. That's the point. Otherwise, you're just making up your own rules.
What does morality have to do with this? What the fuck does morality
it
have
has
to do
whether
with it?
you believe it or not, it has wider implications.
No.
Because
no,
you're
why does
putting your hand on
morality
God's
come
word.
into it? Don't you mean ethical rather than morality, mate?
No, it lets us know about where your morals lie.
But that has no determination on whether or not they went to the moon.
My morals don't lie with the Bible, Kimo.
Exactly. So you can just make up. You can just put your hand on there.
No, the Bible has atrocious morality. That's why I don't lie with it.
No, we live by the Bible's morality. That's why we do good.
No, we don't.
Wives,
Not
do
at
you
all.
chemo? You rape people, do you chemo? So you're telling me that that's the sort of thing that you want to do?
If you was in Australia 1,000 years ago, you would have been in the bush where you would have had no laws, rules, and morals, right? Until the word of Jesus, word of Jesus had
I
spread.
find that insulting to my people.
Until
Can
the
you
word of
stop?
Jesus had spread to the four corners, then you would be just wild, crazy atheists running around doing pagan stuff, right?
Oh, whoa.
What?
I take offence to that.
Why?
Chemo,
the
pagan
Aboriginals
stuff,
had
like-
gods of their own, you bastard.
That's the point. Pagan gods, worshipping, sacrificing
you're the bastard.
virgins.
What's your lip? No.
Everyone was all
Aboriginals didn't
sacrificing
sacrifice
young
any of
girls.
their own people.
And you Mippet would be on the fire, right, being sacrificed, right? But because of God's laws and God's ways, we have a sacrifice already. I can't even finish the point.
And lying.
Kimo, you racist bastard.
So,
Oh my
Mippet, the
God.
idea is that today we have a sacrifice, Jesus sacrifice.
No, there's never been human or other sacrifices in Australia.
Jesus sacrificed himself for you.
Our native people have never done it.
So we don't have to sacrifice any more blood.
Can I just point something out? That Chemo's logic was the logic used during the witch trials.
That sounds about right.
No, sorry. That's racially offensive, demonstrably wrong, and Kimo needs to fucking apologise. If he's gonna be this religious zealot, he needs to apologise for what he just said.
Shut up. You're talking out your arse, man. Overreacting here.
I'm so
You're
Oh,
Of course they're overreacted. I was talking about 1,000 years ago, not now. We're talking about today. People live in a good way because
You're talking about my
We're not living
fucking
in,
ancestors.
No, we're not living in a good way. We're not living in a good way at all. Wear your mask and shut up, sort of thing. Wars are going on that we pay for, people dying. They've lied about the shape of the earth. They're fucking poisoning you with vaccines. We're not living in a good way at all, man.
True.
No way, Jose. We are miserably failing at the moment. We are losing. The earth was created for us beautifully perfect, and we're the only
Why
ones.
did you change the subject, Jin?
I didn't change the subject. I came here
trying to cover for Chemo because he won't
I'm
answer
not
a
changing the
question.
subject at all. This is the
Please
subject
cover me
you're
answers.
talking about.
Stop covering for your racist asshole fucking zealot.
What was the
bastard.
racism? Excuse me.
Accuracy and precision is
What was the
it's about
racist?
here.
What was the
Okay?
racism here, Davros? You can't be saying things
Yes,
like that.
Davros.
Because you were talking about the Australian native people in a racial way.
What?
No, he wasn't.
And you were wrong.
What are you talking
No, he
about?
wasn't.
This is happening
You were
all
wrong.
over the world. This
No.
happened everywhere.
You picked out the Australian native people.
I said to Mippet, if this was 1,000 years ago, she would have been sacrificed, possibly, because we would have needed a virgin for the pagan gods.
No, you said in Australia.
That's where she is. Yeah, I'm saying wherever we are, if you're in Mexico, whether you were in England,
That's not what you said.
we have Stonehenge here, where people were sacrificing Stonehenge.
The Aborigines didn't.
The point is that
the Aborigines didn't sacrifice.
The point is, you're talking about something you have no fucking idea about and you've never looked at.
Yeah, they sacrificed for Baal.
You two, Jin, because you're a fucking idiot.
They sacrificed for Baal, Mippet.
No, chemo, stop. Just because the Abrahamic religions used to sacrifice animals and people doesn't mean all religions did. You're just wrong.
No, other religions
Learn
sacrifice
about
people.
The other religions, chemo.
They sacrifice people.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they
Christians, did. No, Hebrews sacrificed
people. Where's Lemon?
You're right.
Whenever we needed
Hebrews
Lemon, we needed Lemon.
No, I mean, you've got. I mean, human sacrifice wasn't something unique to the Israelites. It was something that was done by many cultures, especially in that part of the Levant. Yeah, and in fact, the largest set of child sacrifices we have is actually in an Israelite settlement, not in a Baalian settlement or Canaanites, which were the worshippers of Baal, or one of the main ones. Molech, which is the god of the Amalekites, for instance, we have very little evidence that they participated in human sacrifice.
Yeah, not the Aborigines. They didn't do that. Not the Aborigines. They didn't sacrifice human beings.
And that's what we pulled him up on, Jin, because he
well,
made that equivocation.
Well, hold on. They've got a
Stonehenge.
And then an Australian Stonehenge, Jin. Have you seen that?
And it was rather racially provocative.
Jin, have you seen the Australian Stonehenge?
It wasn't the Aborigines. They didn't do that. The Aborigines didn't do that. If you look at the history, they lived in harmony with nature. They don't kill themselves and operate to some god. They don't.
But they have an Australian Stonehenge, okay? Which
which is where their ancestors supposed to be.
What do you?
That
Stonehenge is for sacrifice.
They didn't. They never
the
did.
gods.
No. Us what's in our own country now.
No, they didn't, man.
Actually, Stonehenge.
I didn't say the Aborigines. We don't know what was before the Aborigines.
Hold on. In the middle of a sentence, at Stonehenge in the UK, we have very little evidence. I'm in the middle of a sentence still, Chin. What is wrong with you guys? Both of you. Just let someone else get a word in. Come on, guys. So at Stonehenge in the UK, we have virtually no evidence that there was any form of regular sacrifice apart from animals. What we did find under two of the stones were burials, which was quite common for that period to put ancestors under the hearth or ancestors under the stone, because it was an ancestry worship model that we believe they had.
Also, so Kimo, do you know what? How many years ago the Australian Stonehenge was? Do you know when that was built? Do you even know where it is?
I don't.
It's not about that.
I don't. I'm interested in both answers.
So yeah, the old world is not anymore Mippet. We're in this new world, and the new world is a globular world where they're putting more religious ideas about
Are you answering the question? I'm a bit lost here.
Well, where are we? I don't know where we are in the conversation.
Well, so you weren't listening to anything that was just said. Is that what you're saying?
No, I just had a phone call.
Because you got asked a question.
Well, why didn't you put yourself on mute if you were having a phone call? I don't believe you had a phone call because your mic was silent and not on mute. We did not hear a phone ring. So I'm interested in how, when you were unmuted for that entire period of time when you were being asked that question, that you were on a phone call and we didn't hear anything.
I
muted. Don't believe you.
I was just muted.
Did anyone else see him muted? I could be wrong.
You are wrong.
I will accept that.
So, where are we now? What's the question? We're still trying to figure out where we live, why we're here?
No, the question was, do you know how long ago, and do you know the location of the Australian Stonehenge?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how long ago it was built?
I don't know when it was built. Let me try and look it up. But
the answer is no.
But we can definitely try and look for that.
Yeah, but the answer is no. You don't know where it is, and you don't know when it was built.
It's not really impressive.
You can just say no, Kimo. You don't have to make little
No, I
excuses.
mean, again, I was the one that brought it to your... Australians didn't even know they had a Stonehenge. Right? And
No, you didn't bring it to my attention. I already knew of this bloody thing.
I brought it to your attention because obviously we do the research. Obviously,
No, you didn't. This thing is dated to be over 20,000 years old. It's in New South Wales, so.
And like I say,
shut up.
We know about it, Kimo. We know about it.
No, you didn't know about it.
Kimo,
I think that
I actually went. We actually went through this on Terry Davies' channel over 9 months ago.
I brought this to the attention.
Right, Kimo, you just heard them. They did a show on it 9 months ago, and you're still saying no. I brought it to these guys. I said I didn't know about it because I didn't. These guys say they do know about it. Why are you equivocating on that?
No, they didn't know anything about it. Like I said, I brought it to the attention.
You're a fucking liar.
And then now it's being discussed.
No, I'm sorry, mate. You're going down to 1% again. Come back when you want to be at least semi-honest in something you want to say. Because that
Jem,
is fucking ridiculous.
how is Kimo allowed to continue to do this?
Well, you wasn't here when I brought it up. A lot of you Aussies weren't even in the server then.
That's not what Didge is talking about, Kimo, and you know it.
I don't know when you.
So we've got evidence that we went through this 9 months ago, and Kimo's saying no, there's no evidence.
No, I didn't say that. Whether you did or you didn't.
There you go. There's Terry. There's the guy who was
You
the
may have
host of the
done,
show.
but I'm saying, like,
say that.
it wasn't known
Come on, guys.
around these
We can do
parts
better than
until I
this.
brought it
Our
up.
side doesn't have to lie. We can accept the truth. We can handle that Kimo did bring this up before you guys went through it on Terry's show 9 months ago. Kimo brought it up previous to that. Big fucking deal.
What up,
No. Hang on, Curved. No, I've known about this for fucking years.
No. I
about
brought this up
stupid thing.
ages ago, and I made a big deal about it.
Kimo, I haven't known you that long.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It was way before you guys were.
Does it matter? Does it matter if you knew about it years ago? Is it any way relevant to any argument whatsoever apart from itself?
Really isn't.
No, because Kimo's just being full of shit.
So, what was
In a lot of ways, yes.
We're losing the points. The very
But
important
we can maintain our integrity.
It seems like everyone is going off topic, but I don't know what's
we
going
really
on.
are going off topic. So, Jin, are you still here?
I guess not.
That'd be a no, Kimo.
Okay. So, I mean, like I said, we do the research, so obviously we're going to present these things to you, which are quite shocking. Like I brought you the...
No, you don't.
Kimo, your research is pretty lackluster. If you knew about this thing, but you didn't even know where it was or when it was built.
It was ages ago that I brought it up. I just had to double check and...
Okay, but you didn't do your research. If you don't know where it was or when it was built.
Someone is snoring, yeah. But Jin, have you gone, Jin? What's going on?
Oh, what? You can't handle a conversation on your own, Kimo.
Brom is here. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah, quick. Someone else to cover my ass, because I'm so dumb.
No, I mean, again, I could do this all day long.
I've been listening to the whole thing, mate. I've been listening the whole time, and like they're just really fucking trying to grind you down. I think like they took extreme offence to you because of something you said about the Australians, which is a bit weird. But yeah, it just seems like very like Kimo's the devil, Kimo's evil, Kimo's the worst person I've ever met.
I mean, he's just a liar. That's all it is. Like, he's just a liar. He's not the devil.
No,
he's not the worst person ever. He's just a liar.
But you all sound like he's kicked your dog or something. Like you.
And we're
like,
gonna call him out for it.
Brummy, before you carry on, it was the fact that he insulted people that are no longer living, and that's what shitted me off.
But if I talk about 9/11, right, then does that offends people because they are new people that were dying?
It offends a lot of people. don't want to know.
You don't, but when you talk about things, you don't talk about it through. Don't interrupt me, love. All right, you've got a bit of a cocky mouth you have, love, and anything you need to get in check. So at the end of the day, when I talk about 9/11, I'm not obviously pissing on the people that died. You know, you're just talking.
Necessary?
That's what people do. People twist what you're trying to say and try to take offense out. Nobody cares what you did. Here comes Curve. Here comes Curve.
What he
No
said?
one cares, Curve.
Does
Curve's
this
going to
not
add something to
matter?
the conversation, everybody. Let's listen to Curve, right?
My God, I mean, one thing to call somebody a cunt or something, another to talk about putting your cock in her mouth. What is your problem?
All right, let's Curve finish now.
Wait,
So,
why is this acceptable?
I don't give a damn what Curve's got to say anymore.
Why is this acceptable?
What, Curve? No one cares what you're going to
All the
say.
shit that we get on.
Go back in your hole, Curve. Go back in your little hole and shut your damn mouth.
A name.
I won't set him down.
One thing to get angry with somebody.
Can you mute Curve, please?
Talking about fucking
Kosho, because he's just been really destructive.
Hold on, man. I didn't hear.
Well, this is kind of what happened to
You're the
Wixit
only
last
one I
night.
heard that talked about that.
Yo, stop.
Yeah, but Kosho,
Probably I didn't hear
this
you
is kind of what
if you said
happened.
that.
This is kind of what happened last night. Where
Stop talking, Kimo. I'm in the middle of saying something, dude. For the love of God.
Go on.
I didn't hear if you had said that, Brahmi, but if you had, it's not cool to say something.
What you want about? I've got Curve turned down. What did he say?
He said that you said something about sucking cock.
Oh, who gives a shit? Curve's just a miserable old man. I don't care. I said whatever. Fuck himself.
I know. I'm
Don't give a
telling you,
shit.
it's not cool to say stuff like
I don't care what Curved has to say about me. I don't like Curved. That's it. I'll say whatever I want to him because I don't like him.
Everett loves this.
So far, your head so far up your ass, you can't.
All right, love. All right, love. Don't tickle yourself.
To me.
So let's get back
to the
before
coward
being
who
heckled,
can't
right?
listen
Now,
to
look,
me.
Kosho, I just want to say one thing. I don't really want
to that has to turn me
I
down.
just want to say one thing, and that's it. These people just don't want me to talk, so they're just trying to talk when I'm talking.
It wasn't to me.
If you haven't turned all the way down, it's not going to work, Brahmi, because you got it at the same time.
Well, you got to tell him to shut up because all he's doing is moaning about me. I don't want to hear about him.
He wasn't saying something that you were saying to him. He said that you said something to somebody else.
Who cares what Curve's got to say?
I'm telling you,
He's diverting the conversation. I don't want to address anything Curve's got to say. He's diverting my conversation. My conversation was about chemo, right? People are taking chemo for something instead.
Me personally.
People, shut up, woman.
Say sorry. You insulted me personally.
I'm going to talk about what's wrong with you lot in here. What's wrong with you?
Romy, if you don't want to
question,
you don't want to hear what Curve has to say, then you can.
So I'm going to finish what I'm going to say first, and then we can address the next bit, right?
Well,
Because I was talking.
Right. The reason why you don't understand what's going on is because you had Curve turned all the way down, and you're confused by this entire.
Kosher, I was talking, and then they've just diverted the conversation from what point I was making. Now look,
no idea what we're talking about.
When somebody talks about something, right? Let's say I talk about 9/11. I'm not trying to disrespect the people that lost their lives in it, but just because I'm talking about something doesn't mean I'm intentionally trying to disrespect people. People take offense to things. So if Kimo was talking about something, he wasn't intentionally trying to disrespect the people.
Right.
People take it that way because they're sensitive.
Right.
We have to.
He absolutely.
There's no offense to anybody. We're talking about history.
Guys. Now that you're done saying that, Brummy, what we were talking about wasn't anything you said to Curved. It was whether it was Mipit talking, whoever it was, whatever you said to her. That's what we were addressing. So,
reasons you're 100% right, because the same thing applies to, like, when you talk about Zionism, they'll paint you as a anti-Semite.
Yeah. I don't really care. Like, who's this person you're talking about? Who's this? What's the person's name you said?
You didn't hear anything Curved said.
No, I'm asking you. You said something. What he said? What?
Yeah, I know. You're asking me now because I'm having to relay something to you that we've been. No one was saying anything to Curve because whatever you said to Mipit, is not cool.
Again. Come on.
So just don't say something to people, not to Curve. What you said to her.
What? Who's her? Who's her?
Why is
Who is her?
I didn't hear him say anything.
It should be a very simple.
I'm listening to you, Jin. Sorry, to Brummy. Is it? Who the fuck
who is her?
I heard Mipit call him a cunt.
Yo, Mipit. So you sit here calling Kimo a fucking a lying piece of scumbag shit and all whatever stuff you come out. So someone says something back to you and you don't like it. Is that what you're on about here? Double standards?
No, not at all.
You sit here running off your mouth, vile mouth.
It wasn't bothering me.
for a lady, you run your vile mouth off all day,
And
sitting
for
there
a
having digs at
gentleman,
people.
you're
So
a
somebody says something back to you nicely.
So there
Oh,
you
I'm
go.
a woman. I'm a woman. You can't talk to me like that. I'm a woman. I have a
never ever
vagina.
said you couldn't talk to me
I
like
have
that.
a vagina. I need special treatment. But you sit there with your
Oh,
vile
yeah, I
mouth,
do.
with your vile
Oh,
mouth
no, I
all
need
day,
a man
talking to
to look
people
after
like
me
shit.
all day.
You talk to people
Yeah,
like shit.
I know.
You talk to people like shit, okay?
Oh,
Yeah, laugh
Brummy
it off.
needs a
You can.
victim card. Brummy needs a victim card. Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus.
kind of like one of these.
That's why you're moaning about what I said to her. That's why I'm the victim, and yet you're going, "Oh, you said this to a lady. You said you're going to put your cock in
No,
the
I
mouth to a
never said
lady."
that.
I'm the victim.
I never
I'm the
said
victim,
that.
and you're complaining about cock in her mouth.
Yo,
You're
Reese's
about cock in her
100%
mouth,
right.
and you're saying I'm the
100%
victim.
Thing, man.
You're calling me the
right.
victim, and she's moaning
Yeah,
about
Brummy,
cock
you
in her
don't know
mouth.
what's going on because you don't shut up long enough to hear what people are saying.
Well, he
man.
has support,
Well, I've asked you 5 times, Coach.
Yeah, so you have to stop talking to get answers, man.
I've asked you 5 times.
Yeah, so you have to stop talking now. What Kirk has
All
said
right,
it.
all right, Coach. Oh, let's not do that. So,
expect
Percent, you want to
Fuck's
say?
sake,
Let
dude.
Percent say something. Let's get another voice in
No,
there.
I'm not gonna let Percent say something when I'm in the middle of saying something to Brummy, dude.
But he's already
Be
said
smarter
it.
than that.
No, I'm agreeing with
smarter than
Brummy.
that. That's what's going on.
You can't conduct yourself disrespectfully and talk like, call people cunts and stuff.
That's
and
great.
expect
That's great. Thanks for
that
your
people won't respect you.
That's the
Brummy,
point, Kosho. That's why we're arguing now, Kosho, because of this. Because I didn't retaliate, Kosho. I didn't retaliate to Mippet. I allowed Mippet to say whatever she likes.
Shut up, Kimo.
Kosho, listen to what
Shut
I'm
up.
saying. So because I allowed Mippet to, and everyone else to be abusive, when Brummy comes in,
Because you guys won't shut the fuck up.
Kosho, I'm trying to explain something.
I know, because you're a retard, Kimo. You have a mental disability.
I'm trying to explain the situation, why it's happening.
Like this, we don't need you to tell us. We've all been here and listening to the fucking conversation, Kimo.
Right.
So fuck off or mute yourself and don't participate. Because there are really interesting people in here besides you, which you're a complete non-fucking entity. Just
Right,
go
so when
away.
you get told, Mippet,
So
by
annoying.
Brummy what he thinks of you,
Be quiet.
when you get told what people think of you, Mippet, you can't be complaining and expect white knights to jump.
She didn't complain.
Kimo, be quiet.
No one's complaining.
Stop it!
So this all happened as a result of
Kimo,
Brummy
be
giving
quiet.
his.
Kimo, be quiet.
As a result of
I've been sat here quiet, waiting for Kosho to explain what's going on. I've still sat here for 5 minutes waiting for an explanation of Kosho.
Because you're a retard too, Brummy.
Oh, I'm a retard for sitting here being quiet, waiting for you to explain to me what the fuck I'm supposed to have said because Curbs are
Fine.
crumbs.
You heard me trying to answer you for the past 3 minutes, and then you
I've
heard.
sat here and be quiet. Still tell me then. Tell me, stop moaning about it and tell me.
No, dude. Conversation's over. You're a
Just
bunch
tell
of
me.
clowns.
You just sat there and moaned about me being quiet. I've been quiet. You ain't said fuck all.
All right, everyone chill. All right, do unto others as you expect done to you or want done to you or whatever. And
So Kosho, please enlighten me with the story.
I don't ascribe to your Bible, right? I'm done with that.
Kosho,
okay?
Kosho, tell me the story.
That has nothing to do
shut up a
with the
minute,
conversation.
Kosho, tell me the story.
Sorry, I was fucking talking, you piece of crap.
Kosho, Oria, tell me
Yo,
the story. Come on.
golden rule isn't biblical.
Go get a room. Go get a room if you want to talk to Kosho. Fuck off.
Kosho, yeah, go on, let's go to the 1v1 room, Kosho. Come on, let's leave these fucking retarded fucking Australians. They're upside down, the blood's going to their fucking big fat head.
Go easy, you bloody idiot.
Yeah, good day, mate. Good day,
What a mong.
mate.
What a mong.
Good day, mate. Let's give a fucking bevy, yes? Let's go and get a fucking bevy.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
what would
full
be
of
funny
babies.
is if Brummy realised he was related to half of us.
What if I realise I give a damn?
I wouldn't admit his relation.
No, that's the thing, because like
We're fucking brilliant, man. We get so offended. We get so offended and everything, man. We just like playing with kangaroos, man. Good old Jimmy. Good old Jimmy. Let's go play some kangaroo. Let's go and have a barbecue. Let's go to a barbecue. Let's go and have a barbecue and a few berries. Let's go and have a few barbecues and a few berries.
Hey, Brummy, when you say something, can you make sure you
Good
say
day,
it 3
mates.
times in a row?
What is wrong with everyone?
At least 3 times in a row.
Hey, Brummy, does your ass get jealous from the shit that comes out of your mouth?
Sometimes. It's so fucking delicious.
What the fuck? What?
Brummy likes to taste the shit.
Yeah, that's the shit, man. You know, like some of us look at the shit as objectively good.
Right.
You know, that's the shit. That is the actual shit. This shit right here, man, nigga. This is the shit, man, nigga.
Why don't you just give up, man? It's enough bullshit.
It's like he's a wannabe gangster.
It's like I am, yeah. It is like I am. I mean, actually do want.
It's like you wannabe scientists, wannabe mathematicians, wannabe physicists. Okay, you don't have the evidence to prove that you can have gas. Brummy, they were arguing earlier on.
Kimo, who doesn't have a fucking job.
They were arguing earlier on that they don't have a vacuum of space now. It's something else. So because we've got them on the ropes when it comes to this high pressure next to low pressure. They're all over the place. Oh, Jeremy's here now. Fantastic. So Jeremy will also go to
it's
school.
really, really bad form.
I bet this woman looks like a fucking scarecrow. She sounds like a scarecrow, like.
You
came out. No need for that.
Nothing like an ad hom, is there?
You look like a fucking scarecrow, love. I bet you like a fucking wrinkly bitch.
Oh, is that right? I'm so
that
glad
on?
that you've
Yes,
seen
I
me
really
and
like
can tell me
like
those things.
Ooh, I cast a spell on you. I'm gonna do a stew for you.
And I'm
the Wicked Witch of the South.
For tweaking shoes.
Yep.
How
Wicked
we
Witch
doing?
of the South.
Glenda the
That's
good,
me.
It was actually Glenda the Good Witch of the South. So yeah. Or North.
Okay, let's be nice.
Well, you don't even have a South on the fucking flat Earth.
Look at this kid.
You're
That sounds
amused
like an
easily.
insane laugh.
How we doing today, guys?
Hey, Jeremy. How's it going?
Good, good.
Good.
So you ready to pony up some cash, Jeremy?
I don't know. I don't know what that experiment would even show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You're
Jeremy,
checking.
you've got to.
Oh dear.
Yeah, you've got to load the bus, right? And you got to drive the guys back to the asylum because apparently they're a bit late for their medication.
Jeremy, remind these guys why you doubt the globe, deny the globe. Let's get it started. Why?
He's unwilling to test it.
Your name's not Jeremy Moyak. Let's get Jeremy's viewpoint on why he gave up the globe. I mean, it hasn't been that long, Jeremy, right?
No,
I mean, we could say
the audience doesn't want to hear it.
We can say like a couple of years ago.
No, we don't want to.
Sorry, I'm on YouTube right now. Okay. Sorry, I'm on YouTube right now, and the audience doesn't want to hear it.
It will start a conversation.
Right.
It will start a point that you can
No,
say,
right.
"Well, that's not true,"
No, right.
or "This is true." But Jeremy, what is it that made you become?
We don't care,
non-believer
Kimo.
Of the globe here.
I mean,
It's making that really cool snore sound. I love it.
many years ago, you know, I already knew NASA was fraudulent and fake.
Jeremy, no one wants to hear it, so why are you saying it?
Go ahead, Jeremy.
You know,
No, it's all right. You don't have to. We're not going to push you.
No, it's fine.
What are you saying about NASA? You knew NASA was fraudulent.
I can't stop laughing. Oh god, I'm
But
dying.
they want to
here.
hear about how NASA was fraudulent.
Who's this NASA you're speaking of,
You
Jeremy?
can't decide whether NASA's fraudulent or not, Kimo, so you can keep your mouth shut about that, can't you?
We're going to
Do you
find
know
out
what I
how
found
NASA
funny,
was
Kimo?
fraudulent.
Do you know what I found funny? That you were saying that like everything that NASA say is a lie, and then you was quoting what they were saying, and they were going, "Oh, well, you can't take anything they say if everything they say is a lie." But you're saying, "Well, look, this is what they're saying, and you believe it." They're obviously lying. They was in the radiation belt for an hour, and I don't think that this is true, but you guys do think it's true. Everything's a lie. I mean, look at what they're telling you; it's a blatant lie, and they're going, "Oh, well, you can't cite it if you don't believe what they say." Yes, you can. So if somebody tells me a story, I can say they're lying about their story, but I still have to listen to the story and look at the content of the story. And I can still refer the content of the story.
The contradiction.
No, it's not a contradiction. If somebody comes up to me and tells me...
I'm going to tell you the contradiction. Hang on, I'm going to tell you the contradiction. He
Your
used
interpretation?
part of the article... No, he used part of the article as his positive, and then he used the rest of it and said it was lying. So he believed half
It's
of it,
all
and he
lies.
believed the other half.
It's all lies.
No!
He even
but
said
that's
to
not what
you
he
that was a
did.
lie. He doesn't believe it.
No,
he doesn't
that's not
believe
what
it,
he
but he's
did,
using
though.
that testimony. You're
Remy, that's
just
not what he
dumb.
did.
You're
No,
dumb.
you're
He
being
said
the
to
idiot.
you
You're not
loud and clear.
listening.
Stop yelling at each other.
I have heard what you've said. Now let me respond to what you
Remy,
said.
that's
He
not
actually
what
said
he did.
that everything they said is a lie. Even that testimony that he brought forward, he didn't believe that testimony, but he's using that testimony as proof that they're liars. You're an idiot.
Now, the problem
No,
with that
that's
is
not
the
what he did.
information. The problem is that
Yes,
when
he
we look
did.
at
I listened to the conversation.
the problem is when we look
Can
at the
you guys
information, we
loosen
see
your
that
underwear?
the information doesn't say what they say it does. The information doesn't say there's 2,500 rem per day or per hour. It's per year. That these are all details that, when pointed out, are coherent and in keeping with the story.
He clearly said they're saying there was under 1 hour radiation to get through the belt. That's what NASA is saying. He doesn't believe anything NASA is saying, but he says this is their testimony to say that they went through 1 hour of radiation. And so you guys are going, oh, well, you can't use that because you don't believe anything NASA is saying. No, that's not what he's saying. Like, it's like if someone comes to me and tells me a story and it's a lie, I can still say they're lying, but I still have to use the story they told me to tell someone else. Well, this is what they were saying. I don't believe it, but you guys do believe it.
Right.
So you can use someone's
Story,
testimony if you don't believe it.
it's the fact that you only take half the story. You never read through the whole story, and that's where your problem lies.
Sometimes you mix a bit of truth with lies, don't you? So maybe the first half of the story where they got into a rocket and went up is probably true. But the second part, where the lie comes out, is the part that you try to focus on. Well, obviously the story ain't true because
When
look
you
at this
open your
part.
mouth, you mean, okay.
Oh yeah, so as soon as I open my mouth, right.
But there was no lie. When you look at the information that's in there, there's no lie. It is all 100% coherent and on point.
I don't agree.
The video is a lie.
Jeremy, I don't know about you, but I was talking, right? Yeah. I think you could hear that, right?
Yeah.
So the story was accurate, and it is not. What's the word? I can't think of the word, but basically, it was all coherent. Who's snoring?
Is it
Branch the man? The
Branch
one time I
snoring.
like Branch.
Muted him.
Deafen him too, so he doesn't wake up. He needs his sleep.
Jeremy,
sleep.
Paul this morning wouldn't let go. The fact that need
Oh,
to change.
no, Kimo.
Right, Mippy.
Don't even go there.
Mippy.
Don't even go there. You're
Mippy,
going to
Mippy,
lie,
Mippy,
and I know
Mippy,
you're going to
Mippy.
lie.
Mippy.
Yo, Kimo was talking.
Trying to start a
No, Kimo was
conversation.
lying.
Mippy. Come on. It's not going to be me now. I'm just setting it off for Jeremy and Paul, right? All I'm doing is just
Okay.
yeah.
Because you couldn't understand, you're going to
All
try
right.
and get Jeremy to understand. Are you shitting me? That is
I know
hilarious.
you want,
Can you just let him finish, please?
Yeah. Okay, let's try again. So, Jeremy, this morning, Paul wouldn't let go, holding my toes to the fire, about weighing gas without the container. So it was gas being weighed in the container, not in the container. He was very, very insistent on his claim. So maybe we can get into it now again, because you know the argument also. So the premise is
I took him through the ringer on this for days. They want to conflate pressure with weight is what their main issue is here.
Yeah. Paul's still here. Oh yeah, Paul.
Yeah, I am, and we don't conflate pressure with weight.
Okay,
We
how are
don't
you weighing
claim that
gas
that's
without a
same.
container?
There's no problem. Why is there a problem? Why do we have to not have a
How do you
container
do
to
it?
weigh it? Why do we have to do it without a container?
Tell me how you weigh gas without a container.
Why do I have to weigh it without a container?
I'm
What's the
telling you,
purpose
you
of
need
your
a
question,
container.
Jeremy? What's the
Jeremy,
purpose
weigh
of your
water
question?
without a container.
I mean, can't you just give Paul and Jeremy at least a minute? That wasn't even a minute.
You know, Jeremy's not answering.
Yeah, why are you demanding? Why are you demanding that I weigh gas without a container?
I'm telling you, you can't do it. I'm telling you, you need
I
a
agree.
container.
I agree. You can't do it. So why are you asking me?
Oh, all right. We're all in agreement then. Everyone.
But that
agrees
doesn't
weigh
mean
gas without a
that
container.
that doesn't mean that the gas doesn't have weight without a container.
Whatever. It has severe implications, but whatever.
No, it doesn't. What implications does it have?
What implications?
It speaks directly to Jeremy's cognitive dysfunction.
See, this is what we don't need. You see, oh well,
we
whatever.
don't need curves. I agree with that. We don't need curves.
It's exactly what we need.
We don't need.
We haven't even gone 2 minutes into the conversation, and it's already breaking down.
At least he
this
agrees.
is clearly a mental deficiency on display here.
No, at least this guy.
Oh, another negative comment. Brilliant.
If you wish, which
Great
you probably
content
will
added to
choose
the conversation.
because you're
Another
equally
negative
mentally
ad hoc.
deficient.
Brilliant, Curve. Keep it
So
up,
go
Curve.
ahead.
Get a triple. Three
It's
more.
better
We need 3 more insults, Curve. That's what we need.
Says the guy who just ad hobbed Mibbit to death.
Yeah, I do that because some people deserve it.
Yeah, now you're going to give an excuse for why you do it.
I'm giving you a reason. That's why my name's Reason.
No, you're giving an
bitch.
excuse. It's not a reason, it's an excuse.
Yeah. Excuse. I talked
And
about
now
it.
you're going to make fun of me. And now you're going to make fun of me like a child.
It's not funny when you talk to people like a fucking piece of shit.
Reasons. At least this guy's smart enough to know you need a container to weigh the gas. I mean, I'm
sure,
proud.
and there's no problem with that.
Yeah,
there's no problem with that.
I agree, and I think he does make a good point to you, Jeremy, that the gas will have like some inherent weight even when it's out of the container, but we cannot determine that weight when it's in its state because it's gases move independently. So they're kind of weightless. That's exactly why they levitate.
Let me ask this guy, do you think you can have?
Well, gases do go in all directions, right?
Well, hold on.
You just contradicted yourself, Brummy, because you said that at least they had the point that gases have a weight outside of their container, and then you went on to say that they're weightless.
Yeah. It's kind of a contradiction, but it's kind of like if you understand it in between what I'm trying to say.
It's not kind of like a contradiction. It is a contradiction.
So it's not though, is it? Because they are weightless when they're in their
Yes, it is.
Well, they are. They still have inherent weight, but they behave like they're weightless. Is that better? Then? They behave like they're weightless, but they do have inherent weight. Is that better?
Yes, has a meaning, doesn't it? Weightless. It means it has no weight.
From me, it doesn't.
You can't have no weight and be having weight. You can't have both.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Well, let's say it behaves like it's weightless.
No, it doesn't.
When it's in its natural state. Well, okay. Well, what would a weightless object act like?
Well, if it was weightless, then it would spread out evenly, wouldn't it? But it doesn't. So that indicates that it has weight.
There's no such thing as weight. What do you mean? It's either equalized or in disequilibrium.
Because the gases do spread out in all directions, though. So you kind of like contradicting yourself now.
Necessarily.
But it's obvious that it's not spreading out in all directions.
Yeah,
because it's not.
Gases go in all directions.
But it's demonstrably not going all directions. If it was going all directions, there wouldn't be more of it at ground level than there is
Okay, so when you pop up a balloon, right? What direction is the balloon being pressed on?
What
when
was
you blow
that?
a balloon up, when you blow a balloon up, right, it's a very simple question. When you blow a balloon up, what is the direction of the balloons expanding? When the balloon expands
inside that balloon, so at the bottom.
I
don't know because I couldn't hear the question.
Let him answer the question.
Well, I don't know because I couldn't hear the question because there was something.
So the question is, when I blow a balloon up, is it expanding all directions?
Sure, but what's that got to do with anything?
Because it's air that makes it expand in all directions.
Well, Paul, technically it goes.
That's got nothing to do.
There's a gradient inside that balloon, Paul.
Yeah, of course there is.
So mostly it tends towards down and
doesn't tend towards down.
That does.
What type of balloon are you blowing up?
Let's say a helium balloon that tends towards down. Apparently,
No, it doesn't.
No, I said the type of balloon, not what goes in it.
It doesn't.
Just a normal balloon with some helium in it that tends towards down. Apparently.
No, that's what you just said.
No,
that's what someone else said. Who said that?
Inside the balloon.
Oh, that tends towards down. Yeah, a helium balloon tends towards down. Yeah.
Within the medium, yeah, inside the balloon.
within the medium inside the balloon tends to go down.
Yes.
A helium balloon. Oh my god. All right.
Inside
Okay.
it.
Thank you.
Inside.
Okay. All right.
Inside
I can't argue with that.
Inside the helium balloon, there is a density gradient. It'll be more dense at the bottom of the helium balloon than it will be at the top.
No, that's not true. In the balloon, it's more dense around the edges of the walls, and as it goes closer towards the center, that's where it's less dense. Not at the bottom part.
Citation, please.
What do you mean citation? It's pressing
Yeah,
in all directions.
That's wrong.
There's not a force pressing in from the center, is there?
Where's that written?
All the pressure is on the walls. The gradient
Where's
is
that
from
written?
the walls of the container.
No.
That's false.
How is that false? It's pushing in all directions.
Well, let's see.
But you'll have
when
more.
I move my barometer closer to
So, Paul,
walls,
hold
the
on,
pressure doesn't go
Moyuk.
up.
So, Paul, just like the surface, where you just said it's more dense on the surface. So, just like in the balloon, the surface of the balloon.
I did not say. I'll stop you right there because I did not say that. You said that.
No, you just said why. You just said to Brummy, why is it more dense at the surface level of Earth?
I did not say that. I did not say that.
So, there isn't a density gradient on Earth.
There is a density gradient. I didn't say it was more dense than the surface of the balloon. We're
No,
talking about a helium balloon,
not
right?
in the balloon. I'm saying on Earth, at the surface, it's more dense. So on the surface of the balloon,
that's right.
on the surface of the balloon, everywhere will be more dense.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Why? How can you have a surface and it not be more dense on it if it's pushing in all
Not the
directions?
surface. It's not the surface that creates the gradient.
There's no up or down in that balloon. It's moving in all
There
directions.
is. Of course there is.
No, there isn't.
Of course there is.
No. We see the gradient around the rim, around the edge of the balloon.
No, we don't.
So show a balloon burst.
We don't.
Show a balloon burst, and you'll see where it's more dense.
Up in the balloon. Where's the up? Come on.
The down is
Where
towards
is
gravity.
The up in that balloon, man.
In the opposite direction to gravity.
But you're not
No,
down.
you can't include
Oh,
gravity.
right,
Gravity's not a force. So in that
It's in
balloon,
all directions, up and down.
any
Up
direction in that balloon, there is no up and down. It's being pushed
Sure
everywhere.
there is.
How would you know if you're up or down in that balloon?
Try letting it go.
In the balloon.
Sure there is.
How would you know?
Or maybe you could put some water in the balloon and see which direction the water goes. Hey?
Yeah, and which way would it go?
Well, check out
Down.
the chat.
It will gather at the bottom of the balloon, obviously.
Which is down. Yeah, which is down. It's obviously down, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you're in the balloon, how do you know?
Exactly. I did say there was a down. I did say that there was a down in that balloon. And
So what? Okay, so what if the wind blew then? What if the wind blew then, Paul, to the left, to the right of that balloon, and it moved, forced it to the left, to the right, the density? Then what? Where's down?
What if?
Oh,
What
you're
if?
shifting the goalpost now.
What if?
You're diverting
Yeah.
from the original question, aren't you? There is a density gradient inside a helium balloon. It'd be more dense at the bottom of the helium balloon than it would be at the top.
Yeah, because it's at the bottom and then it rises up. That's logical, isn't it? So it's going to be more dense. That's where it's being created,
No,
and then it rises
this is-
up.
There's
This
no
is what they
there's
were-
no helium being created in the balloon.
This is what they were trying to
Well,
say
no.
yesterday, that if you had a
The
container
helium
of
itself
one gas.
rises by itself anyway. So
But Jeremy, you're afraid to do that test.
This is what they were trying to say yesterday, that the gravity's causing a gradient inside the balloon. So
But in
No,
that
it is.
case, is it
That's
more
bullshit.
dense at the
Gravity
top of
doesn't
the balloon
exist.
then? If that's where
Ooh,
if that's the
trigger
direct...
word.
it is a
Trigger
non-entity
word.
anyway, so it's crap. It's bullshit.
Hey,
Well,
Jeremy.
yeah, but wait.
Jeremy.
Why is the word gravity triggered you all to go? Gravity doesn't exist. Gravity's not real. What if gravity's just the explanation for down?
Gravity's not a force. Why?
Who cares?
I didn't say that.
Down is a vector.
Jeremy.
Down is acceleration. You need a force for that acceleration.
You're right.
And we don't have a force.
But why can't we call down gravity?
I don't know. I'm just happy that this Paul guy was willing to admit you needed a
The
container to
question
weigh
you ask
gas.
is irrelevant.
Of course you do.
a relevant point, Jeremy.
Not really. I mean,
No,
implications.
You're going to
So,
need.
Jeremy,
how would you measure gas without a container? How would you measure the weight of gas? How would you do that?
You wouldn't.
Yeah,
without
you
a
could.
container.